What's going on, guys? It's Logan. I'm here with my amazing co-host.
It's your boy, Braden Noble.
And this is episode 17,
17
of Actors POV. I just hit my mic, dude. That hurt my finger. What's up, gang? How's everybody doing out there, man? Welcome to episode 17, bro. I keep saying this every episode, but it is crazy. 17 episodes in, it's getting wild.
Dude,
we are here, baby. This is official.
Weeks. And we officially have crossed 4 months, dude. Holy crap.
Oh, wow. Yeah, 4 months, man. No,
Yeah.
and you guys, and what's crazy is too, we just had our biggest episode ever. Like, you guys are still pushing. We're getting a bigger and bigger audience every week. We love the loyal listeners out there that listen every single week. Seriously, we love you guys. We can't really I don't know, explain it or really say it in words. You know what I mean? How we really do appreciate it.
But we love you.
You guys are incredible. No, seriously, and this is why we do it.
We love you.
We wouldn't do this every week if it wasn't for you guys. Because we have these conversations hanging out. So we love the support and want to entertain you guys as much as we possibly can. So that's why we do this podcast, man.
Absolutely. If you haven't already, go sign up for our Patreon. It's popping. We're dropping. You know what I mean? We're hitting them. We're locked in.
Yes,
Boom.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Patreon. Link will be in the description if you're watching on YouTube and on Spotify. They'll both be in the description down below. So go check that out. There's 2 tiers. We have the movie review, and then the we do I think $10 for the live streams that we do every month.
Got to the live stream. We're getting to the movie review. It's my bad.
Sir. Yes, sir. It's
Promise
the Omen.
When I get back.
1976.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do that when we get back, brother, and we'll knock it out. I know Rafe's excited, so we'll definitely get it done.
Hey, shout out to the boy Rafe.
Shout out to Rafe, man. The Patreon, the homie. But no, yeah, go
homie.
check that out, guys. Join the Patreon fam, and you guys get to also talk to us one-on-one, which is freaking cool. So it's worth it, I would say. Let's see, man. And yeah, it's the Patreon and of course the short film we're making. I know we say this every week, but we can't emphasize it enough, man. Go support it, man. We're super excited. 3 weeks until filming.
Yep.
We're freaking pumped, dude, and it's gonna be
a fun still raising money.
Yeah, still raising money, still trying to make it the best we could possibly make it for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're hyped. We're actually working on the more specifics now, so it's good stuff, baby.
Down to the annoying paperwork of it all. You know what I mean?
That's all Braden, by the way.
It's terrible. It's been pretty terrible.
I feel bad. Yeah, no, it's not fun. It's definitely not fun. But yeah, man, now to I guess before we get into today's episode, Braden, how you feeling this week? We're filming this on a Wednesday. It's going to be released on a Monday, but we're filming this on a Wednesday. Braden has a big weekend ahead. Same here. We're both going to be out of town for a little bit. It's funny it happened at the same time. Braden, what you got going on? How's life treating you, buddy? How you feeling?
You know, it is very convenient that it did happen at the same time.
Yeah.
I guess that is a blessing in disguise. I'm doing good. Man. I can't complain. It's been probably the busiest week out of them all so far because I feel like with leaving, I've tried to pretty much get everything done. And yeah, we're jamming 7 days worth of crap into 3 days. So I'm on the go mode 24/7. Honestly, it's already pretty late as it is, but we're not done. I'll probably be up till 3, 4 in the morning that night, just doing a whole bunch of bullshit.
Having a priority straight, playing some Phasmophobia. I'll stop.
Yo. Check out the new video. Logan Gaming.
It's Logan Gaming. Go check it out. Me and Braden play Phasmophobia. It's so good. Anyways, dude, that was a great promo, dude. Stop playing. I got you. My boy. Anyway,
I got you, baby.
Continue.
But no, you know what? That's pretty much it for me. You know, this is the exciting part. Once I'm done with this, then I just get 2 weeks to just sit there nervously, oh my God, until filming, and that's it. Bam, and then we did it. But how about you? How are you doing, brother?
And then editing for a month straight, where that's gonna be probably the most stressful part of the process.
Of the whole thing.
If we're being honest,
back, did we get enough backup footage?
Oh,
God, dude.
That's. I guarantee we're gonna be saying that. Oh, I wish we did this, did that, but we just need to focus, stay straight. You know what I mean? Be smart. Don't get in our heads. But yeah, man. I am here. But I am here. Counter already twice this episode. Someone do the counter. Keep track of it. But no, dude. Chum. No, I'm playing.
It's the chum of it.
But no, yeah, life's going good, brother. Excited for this weekend. Concert. Gonna have a fun weekend after that. Got some fun stuff planned out of town. So yeah, no, it's exciting, bro. Luckily, Fast X is coming out this weekend, and I don't want to see it. So, next week's gonna suck though. Next week we got some stuff coming out.
Oh, really?
Next week is Little Mermaid and the Machine.
Oh, yes,
Yeah. So
sir.
we probably have to
Sweet.
watch both, which freaking sucks.
But
But we're gonna
screw
get it
it.
done. We're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it done, and I don't know which one we're gonna do. We could even do like a two movie review episode. Would that be
I
crazy?
was gonna offer that idea. I was like,
Let's
we
do it.
could definitely do it. You
That'd
know
be
what I mean?
fun. Yeah, if we just did two movie reviews in one, so we might do that. Let us know if you guys want to see that, man. We'll make it happen.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, me and Braden want to definitely go check out those movies, and both are just too good to pass up on. I
You
love The Little
can't.
Mermaid. I love old animated Disney movies, and then it's Burt Kreischer or Brett Kreischer.
Dude.
Come on.
And Mark Hamill together.
Yeah,
Come on now.
yeah, too good,
You
too
can't
good.
ask for anything better.
So I'm freaking hyped. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a really
It's
fun
gonna be a
time
good
doing it.
weekend.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff planned ahead. And after that, we have a week of planning like crazy, and then we
Yep.
start filming. So we're gonna have a busy couple weeks here, but we're super excited. Also, next week is Braden's birthday, which he's freaking hype about. Yes, sir,
Yeah.
my boy.
1 week from today, baby.
One
The
week from today,
24th.
man. Yes, sir, yes, sir. So
Give
big.
me a little happy birthday and I'll message you back that I love you.
Yes, because we won't see you until after your birthday. So everybody give a big shout out and happy birthday to my homie Braden, turning 20 years
'Cause
old. Old
20.
ass man right here. Just
I'm
saying.
old, bro. I've been
An old
saying I'm
man.
old
Yep.
now.
So you're gonna wake up, your back's gonna ache. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to take some blood thinners. It's gonna be tough.
Yep. You're gonna really have to take the helm in this project here, man. I'm gonna need a cane.
Yeah, your character man is gonna be in a wheelchair, dog, going
Yeah,
around.
Jacob is just
You're gonna have
destroyed.
life alert. You're gonna have like on the staircase. You're gonna have the thing you sit on, and you click, and you slowly go up.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot. But no, dude, yeah, big happy birthday to my guy over here, man, turning 20. Fun age, fun
My
age.
lover right here.
Yes, sir. But yeah, no, man, we have fun stuff planned. Can't wait for you to see it. Everybody listening and watching right now, man, and yeah, we're super excited. Also, I want you guys to do something real quick for me. Wherever
Do
you're
it.
watching on, if you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, comment down below. 'Cause I figured out you can comment on Spotify, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Comment down below what platform you're watching on. Let us know that you're watching on YouTube. Let us know that you're watching on Spotify. That'd be
Yo, you
great.
know what I was actually told?
Yeah,
Not to cut you off. I was at the gym and they were like, bro, you need to go on Apple Podcasts.
we do.
So I
We
think
do.
we're gonna branch off. That's the next place we branch off into.
That's something I've been wanting to do for sure. And that's something we
They're
definitely
just
need to get.
sticklers at Apple, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We do need to get an
Freaking
Apple TV.
sticklers.
Yeah, or Apple Podcast. You're right. So we're definitely gonna make that move as well. So just let us know, man. Keep supporting and let us know. And if you guys want us to go to that, we'll definitely hit that up and all that fun stuff, man. We could definitely branch out and do more stuff. And even talked with Braden about doing in person podcasts, which would be freaking
Heck yeah.
so much fun. It just sucks because our schedules are kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But we could definitely make it happen, and I can do it right here in this room, and we can do some fun stuff with that. So we'll see what happens. It's definitely on the horizon, but right now I think the main focus is the movie, and getting the movie figured out and situated, and going from there. But after that, fun stuff ahead for sure. We're both really excited.
Heck yeah.
But yeah,
Big
man.
things for the potty.
This episode though, let's get to it. Let's get to the nitty gritty, baby.
The Artifice girl.
So, Braden, talk about the Artifice girl, how you came across it, the guy we interviewed, all this fun stuff. You kind of want to kind of give a quick little review because people probably haven't heard of this movie.
Yeah. So
If you
to
haven't, you
everybody
live
out
under a rock, but just saying.
Yeah, you're crazy. To the people out there, I was extremely grateful and this is a tip to a lot of upcoming artists. You want to network the hell out of your life. In one of my networking, trails that I followed one day, I ended up along this film called The Hellgate, and I was very lucky to be cast alongside of Franklin Ritch, who sadly isn't part of the project anymore because of how good his film is doing, but I'm only happy for him. But I was able to find out about him writing, directing, editing, and acting in his very own film called The Artifice Girl, and has the legendary Lance Henriksen in it, and
So cool.
yeah, he's freaking dude, a legend. That's a freaking legend, dude. It was really crazy to see someone a part of the indie community like myself going this far already and working with such big names like that and submitting to such big festivals. And Franklin's done a lot of shorts and he's done a lot of work
And winning those
prior,
festivals, by the way.
winning
I
at
mean,
these festivals.
Artifice Girl
Absolutely.
is killing it.
Killing it. Absolutely.
Unreal.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I just got very lucky one day. I got to meet him and he told me a little bit about it. And I've followed him very closely. You know what I mean? I believe, what's to learn if you're not the smartest man, being the smartest man in the room, so type thing. So it's like followed behind him. He's clearly a success. He's going to be one of the next big names in the industry. I think it's something amazing that he's done. This idea has been amazing, and yeah, I was just really honored and happy that I could meet the guy and just hear about this project. And I brought it up to Logan. I was like, dude, we're both going out of town. No offense, I don't really care for Fast and Furious. Don't hate me, flame me if you want. I don't care.
We're
They
10
they
movies in.
spoiled it. Yeah, they spoiled it already.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I've been wanting to watch this movie. I think you need to as well. And I was able to get him to come do the interview with us. And I was like, Frank, we appreciate you, man. The whole episode's about you, brother. You deserve it. So,
And yeah, I can't wait. Let's just dive into this movie. Let's just say I'm glad we picked it. I am glad we watched this movie.
oh, yeah.
It changed my perspective on a lot of different things. Braden, go ahead and read the synopsis for us, bud, so we can kind of dive into it.
The Artifice Girl. Beep, 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 beep. Special agents discover revolutionary computer program that uses a digital child to catch online predators. However, they soon learn that the AI's inevitable advancement is far more rapid and incalculable than they could ever have imagined, posing unforeseen challenges in settling consequences for the future of technology and mankind.
Even the synopsis is good. Even the
Fire.
synopsis is one of the best synopses of the year. Like, that
Fire.
is crazy, bro.
Yeah, and our leading
Wow.
cast is Tatum Matthews, Franklin Rich, Cindy Nichols, David Gerard, and Lance Henriksen. These
All killed
guys
it.
just freaking killed it.
Braden, I'm going to do the quick 30-second review
Absolutely.
this time around.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about this movie. I mean, this might be our longest movie review yet. I don't know. I know Everything Everywhere All at Once was an
It's
hour
pretty
long.
long. Yeah.
That's because we had the big debate in the middle of it, and we saw the movie in two very different ways.
Hmm.
This movie we agree on a lot, but there's just so much fun stuff here, man. Let me just say this, man. Starting out with this little summary, this is one of the best written movies I've ever seen. This is such a good, fluid, smooth, engaging indie film, and just a smooth, great, engaging, fluid film in general. I mean, I
Mind you,
was
you cannot even tell it's an indie film.
you really
Sorry, I
can't.
just thought about that. Yeah.
And I don't want to say I had low expectations. But you have certain expectations when you walk into an indie film. I didn't think it was going to be absolute crap, but because there are really good indie films out there, and a lot of these indie films become big, obviously, and get picked up by studios, and usually they just release them the same way, as they were before. But with this movie, man, I just went in thinking it was just going to be another indie film. Great story, maybe cheap directing, maybe some cheap things here and there. The acting might not be the best. Man, was I wrong. Everything about this movie was so good, fluid, and just great, and I cannot wait to dive into the specifics. I mean, Franklin, man, this guy knows what's up. He did incredible, and he's going to be the next big guy in Hollywood. I promise you that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, so I totally agree. Absolutely agree on everything you said. I think this is one of the best refreshing spectacular indifferent movies I've seen in over the last few years. I haven't had a movie make me feel the way I did like this really since the Oscars. And I know that's like not that far away, but those are the best of the year. You know what I mean? For a reason. This film really like sat there and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is quality cinema. I'm watching quality cinema right now. You can't even tell it's an indie film. The fact that it's practically a one set location, you can't even tell. You can't even tell they had a small budget. The small cast doesn't take away anything. If anything, it adds more depth to the characters and to the feel of it, knowing that there's less people. And the story is impeccable and completely new and different. And kudos to everybody, but most importantly, Franklin, he deserves, you know what I mean? Not only was he able to write this amazing film that's indifferent, like I said, he was able to direct it and direct this cast and also deliver an amazing acting performance on top of it. And it's just, you sit there and you see someone do it, and it gives a lot of inspiration to, someone like we're making our own short film, you know what I mean? And it's like, this film is going to inspire a lot of people. It's going to inspire the sci-fi AI genre, and I think it's going to set up a lot of what's to come in the next 10 years for AI in movies.
I agree. This movie started its own genre. This
Absolutely.
movie is gonna be looked back on, and it's
It's
just crazy,
teabag Megan.
dude.
It's
This
like
is
teabagging Megan right now. It's like,
yo. That's what I'm saying. This is like, you know me, guys. If you're listening right now, you're probably like, "Wow, this. What is Logan? What is Logan on? Is he okay? Did he take like some pills before this? What is he
he's
doing?"
on some drugs,
Yo, I
man.
know. What's going on? Another Hollywood actor lost to drugs. No, this is it's crazy, man. I mean, you guys know I don't usually say this about movies, especially on this podcast. But it's true. This movie is revolutionary in a lot of different ways. I
Hmm.
mean, it's so weird because it's unique, but it does a lot of stuff that movies have done before, but it just does it in a new way, in a new light. And
Yeah.
it's so weird how fluid and engaging this movie is. What I want to do is I
But
want to
maybe
see this
that's what's
movie in
so
a
great
theater.
about it. Maybe that's what's really great about it is the fact of like it does
The
a lot of those
fluidity.
old, yeah, like very good cinema, like old school tactics and stuff. You know what is crazy though? I wanted to go see it when it was premiering in Duval, Jacksonville, but
Oh, really?
yeah, dude, because it was in New York, LA, Georgia, like everywhere, bro, and it was even down here, but it was like like right at the end of April, and
Yeah.
it
Well,
was really busy time for us.
yeah, no, yeah, it was a little crazy. But no, I do want to see this movie in theater. I think they need to do a theatrical
Hmm.
release in some light. Even if it's selected theaters, do two theaters in each city. Just do something where, I mean, that's what Fool's Paradise pretty much did, right? Just
That's
just
what I'm
just
saying.
throw
He's
some
got to
You
do,
can do it. It
and
makes
that's
so
the
much money.
they could do another one. They could do another one.
I don't
Bing,
know.
bing, bing.
You,
Because they did it. They did it.
you know what I
They
think
did a
about
release
sequels,
already.
though. Yeah.
No, no, no. I mean, like they did a release already
Oh, you mean like another
in the
one?
theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, but it was like very, like you said, it was only like in New York.
select, very
Yeah,
select.
do a little. You can make it select, but just make it more broad, right? Throw some in Orlando, throw some in Miami, Charlotte. I know,
Yeah, bro.
Macon, Atlanta, right? Like just just put it in these big time cities, and people will go to it and watch it, and it's getting so much traction right now. I mean, we were talking in the interview. Stuckman
Yeah,
did a review on it. He's the OG YouTuber, movie
the
review guy.
man.
So it has like 200,000 views. So like it's
Hmm.
doing really well, man. This is a movie that every single person that sees it, every review I've seen, there's no negative.
Nothing
The
negative about
lowest
it. Yeah.
star ranking I saw was a 3 out of 5. I mean,
Hmm.
it's unreal how the reception this movie's getting, and I really hope
Bro, no
that
offense.
somebody
I'm
picks it
seeing
up.
people. I sent Logan a thing. I'm seeing people who love A Fool's Paradise, and I'm like,
What do you mean by
I'm not gonna
that?
lie. When I hold the two up next to each other, they both wrote, directed, and acted in it. Franklin, you're beating Charlie Day in my book right now.
I mean, yeah, they're two very different projects, but no, it's crazy that this movie isn't in more theaters. I think they need to do a
Yeah.
re-release and really get it out there because I think it definitely deserves it. But anyway, I'm gonna try a different type of structure. We'll just see. Well, I'm just gonna kind of flow with it. We'll see how it goes. But I want to start with Act One, because this is kind of where the only negative I guess I kind of have with this movie kind of stems out of.
Hmm.
And so this movie has a 3 act structure. And this is gonna be a spoiler review, by the way, guys. Starting from now on, it's spoiler, and this is a movie that most of you guys haven't seen. So, if you should we do a spoiler? I feel like we should do a spoiler. So if you guys haven't seen this movie, we just did our little. That's pretty much all the spoiler free stuff we just did. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, go watch the movie. Come back and listen to this.
Hmm.
This is we're gonna go full spoiler here, and I think we just need to do this because there's not many reviews out there, and I think this needs to be a spoiler review. So I'm just letting everybody out there know this is a spoiler review. No spoilers.
Count up how many times. Spoiler review.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just true though, because you guys need to go watch this movie for yourself. I don't want to
Yeah,
ruin it for anybody. This is a movie you need to go watch and then come back and watch this review if you haven't seen it.
absolutely.
The one thing, so this movie is a 3 act structure. but a very like it's literally a 3-act structure. There's 3 scenes, 3 sequences, and 3 acts. So
It's literally like a filmed stage play. It's beautiful.
Right. That's probably the best way. You're 100% right. That's the best way to explain it. And so each act and each scene is like 30 minutes long. But they're very
really only is 3 scenes the entire movie, and
That's it.
Yeah, they're just super long.
Well, then you have like some flashbacks, but
yeah,
but mainly, like you said, it's just these long scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Very dialogue heavy and dialogue driven.
Absolutely.
Obviously, when you have a scene like that, that's what it's going to be. So it can be just a whole fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do got to say is when I first watched this in that first act, I was a little thrown off. Mainly because it was not what I was expecting. I was expecting a traditional movie structure film, right? Movie structured film. And I didn't get that. And at first, I'm not going to lie, I was almost pulled out of the movie by that. I was sitting there and I was like, all right, that's cool, but I don't really know how I feel about it. But then as I kind of accepted the movie for what it was, it changed fully. Everything started clicking. And once this movie starts to click, it starts to click. I mean, you're engaged and you are there. So my only negative is that when the first, and this won't even happen the second time I watch it because now I know what to expect, but the first time I watched it in the first act, and most people are probably going to feel this way. I don't know about you, Braden, but it kind of hit me like, I don't know how I feel about this. But as it started going, that totally got erased. So it's not even really a negative. It's just something that was a negative at the time I was watching it in the first act. Because one thing that Franklin talked about in the interview, by the way, he said that, that first act is a page of building suspense, and then you reveal something big. Then you have some more suspense and reveal something big, like every other page. Yeah. And that's what really brought me in. I think after kind of like sitting back and saying, what is this? It got really, really interesting really fast because it's like you're almost I think this is what he wanted the audience to feel. It's almost like you're in the detective's shoes. And you're trying to figure this mystery out because it opens up
discovering it together. You know what I mean?
Right, because it opens up with the 2 detectives interrogating a guy, and you have this whole different perspective that, in my opinion, I thought the guy was a child predator, which I think is what they're going for. Right? You're like, what's going on here? Is this kind of weird? And then obviously as it goes on, you realize he's actually the good guy, helping out. So you're almost interrogating this guy as well. You know what I mean? From the detective's point of view, which I freaking love, dude. So I really, really enjoyed that. What was your kind of thought on the first act and everything that went down?
No, I'm not gonna lie, and not even like, oh, I disagree, but I didn't really feel any negative connotation towards it, really.
No.
Watching it, I was more interested. You know what I mean? I came at it with a very open mind, knowing that I knew a little bit, and so with the start, I definitely wasn't expecting how it began. You know what I mean? It took me off a little bit at first, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is about an AI girl. What the hell? And then, like as you kind of said, as we got to that point where the characters become honest within themselves, and that's when they start to break to each other, and it's like we're starting to really get the story now. Like little by little, we find out this is about, like, he's at a police station. Then we find out it's because of a child. Then it's because of who this girl is, and then it's she's not a real girl. It was constantly, like he said, it's that secret, like you said, it's that detective feel. You're constantly searching for more, and I was very intrigued by it, and I very much enjoyed it. I was sitting there and I was like, because you just don't see it often. I think that's why I did like it, which is weird. We were just perceiving it in the 2 different ways, but that made me like it because I was like, I really never see shit like this often.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the most thought through and perfectly executed first acts of a movie I've seen. Like, it wasn't boring, but did not give away enough, like in a good way. Like, you know what I mean?
It left you wanting more.
It was perfectly executed, man.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there and I was like, holy crap. You know what I mean? Especially like towards the end of that first half into the second half, like that's when things were real juicy.
Yeah.
Juicy.
No, when that second act started, that's when I texted you the first time. I said, dude, what is happening? Like, this is so good, bro. I was into it. And that was the second act, and it just gets better and better, which is crazy because I didn't think it could, and it just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
So yeah, first act overall, dude, had such a good time, and one thing that I really really enjoy about this film is the acting. I mean, the and this I think must
Heck
go. This
yeah.
has to go with the dialogue. It's written beautifully. None of it came off cringy. There was not one cringe line in this entire movie, which is mind blowing to me because
That's
it's
very
so
true.
hard to right. Can you think of one? I
There
can't.
was not one stale, slapstick, annoying, weird. Yeah, no, you're totally right.
There's not one.
That's crazy.
And that has to do with the incredible writing by Franklin and
Yeah,
also
man.
the acting, man. I mean, this acting for an indie film is unfreaking real. I mean, it's
Believable.
it's better than blockbuster acting that we
I,
see.
I was I was gonna say, dude, this could get put up for awards, and I feel like people wouldn't question it.
It could. It
You
could,
know what I
and
mean?
especially, and I'm talking about her more in the second act, but Tatum Matthews, I believe is her name, right? Tatum
Hmm.
Matthews, I believe, who
Totally
plays
correct.
Cherry, kills it, dude. She is, and she's like 11, 12, and she's
Yeah.
freaking, dude. She was a standout. She stood out.
Yeah.
But in this first act, though, I mean, I think the biggest standout probably is Franklin. This is a guy who had the most emotions going on. You know what I mean? He's hiding stuff, but he's also, you see some vulnerability to him as well. You see something's off about this guy. You can't really tell what it is. He just played that side of the character so well.
It's
And
it's
but they all did phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah, no. No, I totally agree. But even with Franklin's character, like I see what you're saying, because like I think what draws me to him towards him is he's very like imaginative realist. He's very like so he to the point where he wants to play this part, but then he's like in his head he's a smart dude. He's like, okay, I need to come. Like this is when I need to be honest. Like now I've played my cards. I've lied. He. You know what it is. It really felt like he was playing chess when he was speaking in the first act. You know what I mean? Like constantly he was giving them pieces, and as they started to take his edge, he was giving more and more. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And just like you said, man, I think the first act does something for me. I don't think the other acts do, and that's capture that moment between the three in a weird way. Because what I mean is in the second act, they're now closer and they're very developed and they're kind of like a family now. You know what I mean? They had practically been working 15, 20 years on Cherry together at that point. What I loved
Yeah.
about that first act is when it was that good cop, bad cop vibe, but like they both wanted something for different reasons. And like how he said, like, I can't think of his name, Omen or whatever, the character,
Almost right. Oh,
Omis,
Amos or Amos,
Amos,
or whatever it was. Yeah.
Amos. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
It's
My bad.
Amos. I don't know how to say it.
Amos, like he
Amos.
like, you have Franklin who this is his pride and joy, and he really wouldn't have done anything. And then you have, um, dude, why am I blanking their names? The woman,
It starts with the
Cinda. It's
H.
Cinda's name.
Dina. Sorry, Dina.
Dina. Um, Dina's initiative is there, and she has background reasons and wants it, but not for the same reasons as Franklin. And then you have um Amos, who's, you know what I mean, he's just not about it at all. He's like, well, what if she does gain the consciousness? And I really loved that dynamic in the beginning, and they only build on it, which is amazing. But
Yes.
it's a strong place for a really good plot. And you just have three different, and each of them are right. That's the big issue because you don't know
Yes.
who to agree with the whole time. You know what I mean?
Which makes it so much fun, and I think this is a movie that it's crazy. This is almost like a bad thing that we think the same exact way, because this is a
100%.
movie that you could think 15 different ways. It's a movie that's all about perspective,
Yeah.
and about, it's almost like this movie's almost asking for people to have conversations instead of arguing. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because I think that's probably let's get sentimental. I think the biggest problem with society nowadays is we're all going for each other's throats instead of just
Yeah.
listening to someone's opinion and why they think a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Because it's built off of experiences, and that's something big, right?
Yeah.
Experiences are huge in this movie. I mean, everything from Gareth's backstory to Cherry's point of view, and then Amos and Dina, all of them, they all have a backstory. That's very specific, and they all have their moment, which I love,
Yeah.
which is really really interesting. But this movie makes you think, and
Yeah.
that's what I love about movies. That's probably my favorite things that a favorite thing that a movie can do for me is make me think, because everybody's opinion on this movie is going to be different. Everybody's
Absolutely.
side that they choose is going to be different. Me and Braden just happen to have the same freaking brain. We got to be long lost brothers or something. I don't know, dude.
Low key.
It's crazy because we think of the same thing. The only disagreement we've really had on movies was The Whale and then Everything Everywhere All at Once. Those weren't even 2023 movies.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. But we think the same on a lot of different things. But people are gonna side with Dina. People are gonna side with Amos. People are gonna side with Cherry, which I don't understand how you could. But hey, that's cool. You know what I mean? I love to have a conversation with someone that does. I'm Team Gareth. I think he did everything he had to do right here, except the one thing that really pissed me off in this act was the fact that when Cherry decided to say that, hey, I'm the one that leaked the system or whatever to these people. Yeah, are you mad at me? And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. No. At that moment, if I'm Gareth,
bro,
I'm pulling the plug.
That's
I'm
where
sorry.
Let the technology take its control.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do something there, man. That's the scary thing about AI, and this movie is so accurate. Is this is probably going to happen? And we'll get into more of the details once we get in the second and third act. But once she starts to come out and that she's gained all this consciousness and all this weird shit. But but that is something that really caught me. What was I saying? That's the one thing that kind of caught me off guard with Gareth. It's like, bro, this is a bad sign. This is showing that she is going against you.
And he kind of just let it happen a little bit.
And you know what's crazy, Braden?
Yeah.
That shows that she had emotions at that point. Think about it.
Already. And she was probably hiding it from him.
Bro, he said he's only been working on this for was it 2 years at that point or whatever? She already had emotions.
Well, and that's...
Which is crazy. I just thought about that.
That's a crazy thing to me, and I feel like this could gateway into the second act. It's the big blockbuster point that happens right at the beginning of the second act, where we kind of find out the board isn't going forward with the physical form of Cherry, and we find out it's Amos who doesn't go forward with it. And it's funny because you and me had the same agreements. We're sitting there and we're like, dude, what is wrong with this fucking dude? Because he starts beating the shit out of Gareth, and we're like, yo, like, chill out. Like, you're about to get fired. Like, Dina, you need to kick this guy out. And then out of nowhere, Cherry comes clean, bro. Complete. And it was, I don't know about you, I got goosebumps. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, what the fuck?
Just kind of remind me, what was the merger? Do you remember exactly what that was? I can't remember exactly what it was.
So they wanted to put her into like the physical body. They had that robot of her. Yeah. And she didn't want to go. He kept asking her, he was like, do you consent? She goes, I can't give you, I don't have the evidence or the data for that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, like when she's beating him up, he's just like, okay, stop.
Yeah.
And like this whole time, and it's huge kudos to Tatum. You're sitting here watching this girl who's an AI and she really felt artificial, and then out of freaking nowhere is this living human. And that's the beautiful thing about it. That goes to what we were talking about. Gareth knew about this. Gareth knew that she was developed, and the other team didn't. They'd been working together for 15 years, and I think they said it was like 5 or 6 years, like 5 or 6 years ago from that 15 years they've been working together. So about 10, 11 years in, Gareth and her realized that she could do that, and he had been lying for the last 5 years. So
which is messed up. Yeah,
it is definitely messed up. But who's to say when they first met that he wasn't lying back then too? You know what I mean? Like you said. And it's obviously, we talked to the guy today. Maybe I wish I could have asked that question myself.
Yeah.
But it leaves you to think. And really, how long has Cherry been like this? Who was lying? Was Gareth being honest? You know what I mean? And
these questions are so incredible. And it's what I love from movies, right?
Yeah.
Where you can ask these questions. Because I think Franklin did this on purpose 100%. You know what I mean? He wants people to talk about this movie because, dude, I mean, this review can go on for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours on just theories alone of what happens. But yeah, no, dude, Act 2 is when it really starts to ramp up. Act 2 is my favorite act of the entire movie for sure. Act 3 is great, but this is where it's the structure, right? This is the climax.
It's perfect. Exactly. It's perfect structure. The third act is all of the declining, you know what I mean?
Right, resolution type stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I was want to hit a few points here. Falling action. There you go. It was.
I'm so glad you smirked too. I'm like, yo, let's go.
You know what's up.
Yes,
I remember school.
Language arts.
My teacher's gonna be proud. But no, Act 2 is where it really starts to ramp up, man. And like you said, it was just so freaking well done, and the dialogue, and we didn't talk about this in the first act, and I should have got to it. The dialogue is just so fluid, and we did talk about it a little bit, but I kind of got off track. It's just it merges so well when these actors are talking over each other and going from one topic to the other for 30 minutes. It doesn't seem forced. It doesn't seem like they're trying to get from point A to point B with just some stuff in the middle.
Feels genuine.
It genuinely feels like an ongoing conversation where you're talking about one thing and then you jump to another topic and then you jump to another topic. You know what I mean? It's so freaking well done, dude. And
what I think
I've never seen dialogue like this. I just haven't.
What I think you said best was like the fact, like, and they explain everything so well. You were never left confused. Like every time they talk about Cherry or the AI or the department, like they find a way. Franklin found a way to write it in such a way where you did, like how he's saying, you don't need to know what's going on to understand. Like it's very obvious. You can put two in. It's literally 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I mean? He's not making it this crazy puzzle to understand things. So
it's almost Shakespearean. You know what I mean? Like when I watch Shakespeare, I don't understand what they're saying, but I can follow the emotions. I can follow some context clues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's probably sad that I can't read Shakespeare, and I can understand it a little bit, but I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, he's saying this, he's saying this. Yeah, you know what I mean? But when a great example is Romeo and Juliet, right? The Baz Luhrmann movie. That one, it's hard. It's speaking. Baz. They speak in Shakespearean the entire film. Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. But you can still follow them even if you don't know Shakespearean. You can still follow what they're saying, and that's what this movie is. And I wonder if that's an omen to or homage, to the Shakespeare stuff.
Omen?
The Omen. It's like an homage to the Shakespeare genre and the writing of it, because that's probably what it is. But no, like you said, and to be honest, I actually understood it. Like it's weird. Like they were talking about some very complex technology stuff and
you just
about AI.
it.
And you understand it, and they spend time on a topic, and they make sure that they spend 5 minutes on that topic. Now, if you understand what they're saying the first few times, they get kind of repetitive because they say the thing over and over and over and explain it in like 4 different ways before. But there's moments where I understood what they were saying very quickly, so that kind of got old. But there's also moments where it took me until the last time they explained it, the last sentence, to really understand what was going on. I had to rewind it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really fault it for that, because I thought that was beautiful the way that they did it. I was never left confused. I did have to rewind it a lot, but that's because I really I'm someone, guys, and I know there's people watching and listening right now that do the same thing.
We'll be fucking starting a whole conversation in the theater, like analyzing this shit.
Yeah, and I always, like, if I miss one little thing, I have to go back and kind of you know what I mean, especially with this type of movie when it comes to dialogue, because I do want to hear every single thing they're saying when they're breaking all this down. I'm just that type of guy. But which is not good. Probably some OCD thing. I don't know. But no, it's definitely something I do a lot. But this is a movie that, like you said, you could understand very easily. And I give so much credit to him. And Franklin said that he did a bunch of research, talked to a bunch of different guys.
I was very impressed.
Right. And on that were educated in this field. And that's kind of where you got all the info from. So it's not crap. It's real authentic stuff, which sometimes, these movies will throw in some stupid science stuff and just hope the audience is dumb.
Or just
this
make
movie,
it up,
it's this is true science stuff, which is even more
crazy,
impressive,
dude.
From a guy that has no experience in science.
Yeah.
Unreal. But yeah, no, and like you said, Tatum Matthews is what I really wanted to talk about, that we kind of branching off of what you said, man. Her acting was incredible. The way that she went from, "Hi, my name's Cherry,"
She stole the movie here.
To,
in my
"Stop,
opinion,
leave him alone."
Yeah, this is the most crucial, fundamental, and important part of the film. Even though, like, in a way, you could maybe be like, it's predictable, I guess, because, like, you know what I mean? Almost
I didn't think so. I didn't think so at all.
Myself, I didn't either. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was gonna go down the way it did.
No, dude.
That's why I said I got goosebumps. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
what the hell,
it
bro?
throws you off. You're set in a loop.
Yeah.
Unreal. No, I thought it was beautiful. But like you said, it probably is obvious if you look at it from like an outsider point of view. but you're so engaged. And that's the
And
thing
you're
about
you
filmmaking.
don't know. It's almost
Captivated,
like you
yeah.
know it's gonna happen, but you just don't know when.
But
And I don't think
subconsciously you don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're like, you know what I mean? Like has to happen, right?
And that's the thing about horror and thrillers like this. This is more of a thriller, a sci-fi thriller.
Mhm.
Um, and this with any movie in general. If you captivate your audience enough and get them engaged, you can do anything. You can take something that's super obvious and just surprise the audience. Like that's the
Mhm.
thing with movies that are really predictable and stuff that happens. A lot of
Yeah.
times the reason is because they're not engaged, because they're not
Yeah.
captivated by what's happening. You know what I mean? This movie it does that. So everything is a surprise. All the little things you're sitting there like, what is happening? Even in the third
Mhm.
act, which we'll get to in a little bit, you're like, what the heck's happening? The first act, you're so captivated, you don't know what the next thing is gonna be. And that's one thing I loved about this movie. You cannot predict it. You just can't.
You can't.
I
No.
guess you can in a way in the third act with like her being free, whatever. You can kind of say I kind of expected that,
But not even in the
looking
way
back when
that
I
they
was
did
watching
it.
it, no,
I
and
didn't.
I wasn't thinking about it. You weren't
Dude, I'm
thinking
not gonna
about the
lie.
ending.
What's going through my head the whole time? I'm like, when we shutting this bitch down? Like, turn her the fuck
I
off.
couldn't stand her,
I'm
which
like,
is
you
great. That's
guys,
great acting.
yes, yes. I couldn't stand her, and I thought she was getting too powerful. And I'm like, turn her the fuck off. What are you doing?
It's true.
I didn't expect it. I really didn't, man, bro. And like, obviously, it's a spoiler, and we'll get to it. But bro was like, "You're free." I'm like, I'd be like, delete,
Control Alt Delete.
peace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
No, but you know, like I was saying, like Tatum, you know, this is the point in the movie where the reader, and this is what he does so well. It's he literally catches us like a fish. You know what I mean? Like he reeled us in the whole first act, and they hooked us right at the beginning of the second. It's not even like he wasted time. It's right in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the second act
They
where you
scream at
find
him.
out. Yeah, yeah,
Then maybe
and
they
then
scream at the people to leave, and then it gets serious, and you're like, oh my god, you know.
you're like, oh fuck, what's going on? What did we miss?
Another scene that really got me in this, and once again, every actor or every character, sorry, has their moment. Every actor has their moment where they're unreal. Is Dina in this act? Remember
Dude,
with
she
her,
talks to her.
yeah, her sickness or her tumor, whatever it was.
Yes, I
Remember?
loved that. Yes, and she was
So
like, I want him to take over once I'm gone.
yeah, and
I
this
love that
movie,
scene. I'm glad you brought it up.
yes, and I'm surprised I didn't bring it up in the interview. I should have talked about it a little bit, but and we haven't talked about it one on one either. This is a movie that, every movie needs to have a breather at some point. And this second act is so fast paced, and the second act is so quick, jumping from one topic to another. You kind of need that breather. And there's a moment where you just see Dina and the AI, and they're sitting there talking.
He did
And
such a good job. She's like, get the fuck out. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
very very similar to the Gareth and Cherry scene in the first act. This
Yeah.
was another one just like that. And it's so well done. You feel for Dina. It's such a unreal uh scene, or not, I guess you call it sequence because it's all one scene technically. It's done so well, and the dialogue there, it's not like she doesn't have like this cringy sickness. It's like the stereotypical like cliche, you know what I mean, of a girl, someone having a sickness and then dying
And
away.
that's the
It's done
thing.
well.
And we're not getting it. They didn't give it away either, I think. Like, she wasn't like, yeah, stage 4 terminal cancer in the brain. Like, she
Right.
was like, she's just like sitting there. I'm like, I'm sick. You know what I mean? Someone's going to have to take over for me. I
They
got
didn't
something
overdo
going
it.
on
They
up
didn't
here.
oversell it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, but that is one scene that I want to watch this movie again. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
It's done so well.
Yeah.
And one thing we could do for Patreon, by the way, is we could even do commentaries. I think it'd be fun. We
Yeah.
watch a movie and we just like talk over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That'd be
no,
fun.
100%. That'd be awesome.
But no, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, and like I said, just Tatum and her acting was unreal. This is where she shined. I thought the
Yep.
guy that played Amos, David Gerard.
I said Gerard because I wasn't
Gerard,
sure.
Gerard. Yeah, I think so. Dude killed it. I mean,
This was
unreal.
his,
This was
in
his
my
scene
opinion,
as well.
he was the one who stuck out for me, actually,
Really?
alongside Tatum. Yeah. Out of the three, the main three, in the sense of like, he's the standalone in here. Like, nobody else really cared to even, he brought up the important questions that nobody wants to talk about. That's
Yes.
the real life. That's the big message of this film. He's the one who really pushes that idea of people are afraid to have the ugly conversations. And because it's going against what they want, and not because it's right, they have a problem with it. And maybe Dina's not, you know what I mean, to be 100% blamed, but even spending 15 years, let alone Gareth, who's been with this robot for maybe 30 to 50 years at this point. Well, I'm sorry, not 50, like 30 years at this point. It's it's really upsetting that, and maybe that leads back to like we don't know how much he knows. Maybe he has asked her before, and maybe she did say no. You know what I mean? And maybe he didn't care. Maybe that's why she's so resentful to him at the end. You know what I mean? When us as the viewer, like, how are you like that? You know what I mean? He did everything for you. Maybe that's what we never got, didn't see. But what I loved about Amos in this was he really pushed for that whole central idea. We need to have this conversation, the ugly conversation that we don't want to. Even though we made it for this is what it's turned into. You know what I mean?
Very well put.
I make, you know what I mean? I make you a medium rare. It comes out well done. I can't, it's the fucking steak still, my friend. I goes, very well put. And then I start talking about steak. But
all goes off rail. Yeah, it's all over the place now. It's okay.
But no, I loved his character in this act, and I think it was a good final way to see the two, him and Dina.
Yes, it was his best sequence for sure. Another thing too, and this is something that I looked up online and figured out. I didn't have the chance to ask it in the interview. But so there's the sequences where Tatum is talking or Cherry is talking on the screen, and then they're responding back to her. That was real time. They obviously did not use Zoom.
Fucking Bala, I killed that bug. I'm sorry.
Good stuff.
I need everybody in the world to know. And I saw that as well. Crazy, right?
Yeah. So good job on the bug.
Thank you.
They're probably in Bug's Life 3, and you just kill him. I mean, it's messed up. But no. So that was done in real time. They definitely didn't use Zoom because it was great quality. I don't know. It was amazing quality. I don't know what they
were like
used.
A library, and they had like a white paper or not a white paper, like a backdrop.
Yeah.
I don't know what camera, but like, yeah, dude, crazy.
Crazy. And it was done real time. So all the responses were, because I was wondering how they would do that so perfectly. You know what I mean? But it was done really well, man. So that's just another big shout out, because I wonder if Tatum was able to see the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a possibility she didn't, because she's supposed to be looking at the camera like this.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I don't think she did. She probably could not. She could only probably listen. That is crazy now that I think about that.
100% actually.
Because I thought of like the news stations, how like the anchors have like the words above it, but they can't put a screen above it. In front of it, I mean.
Yeah, like it would have to be like a Zoom call, but her camera was connected to the real camera. I don't know how
no way to do it.
Done it.
There's no way to do it. So that just gives me just even more respect to Tatum's performance. I mean, unreal. Really good stuff there. So yeah, no, just incredible job all around in Act 2. My favorite act personally is when everything starts to go down. Yep. And they even talk about like, and this is once again what I try to mention earlier and what I talk about more. It's like this girl, she's insane. You got to pull the plug, man. And they still go forward with the freaking thing and make her in the human body, the merge or whatever. It's a freaking joke, dude. I don't understand that. So like, cause she even says, I'm developing dopamine.
Yeah.
That's a brain chemical. And she said some other ones. That is crazy. She's like, even though it's not really like a chemical, it's artificially to the point where I can now develop these feelings. And it's like she has her own neurological system. It is so
what's crazy to me
to think about.
She's the one who said no to the merger, right? But when we go into Act 3, this is what blows my mind.
Oh, I could not. Yeah, let's go make that transition. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Omos, this is like a personal theory I have.
Yeah.
Omos said that he would leave. He goes, I'm not signing it. Either I'm out or whatever, but I'm not signing the bill. She said, I want Omos to take over after this whole thing. But who still says that they're the creator? What I think might have happened is maybe, right? Because you know how like Omos was like, I'm out, basically. Like if you put her in the body.
I remember that. Yeah.
She ends up in the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if like they fired him?
I'll let you finish.
He died. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember. At the end of Act 2, did they just say they were going forward with it? Because I remember that Cherry said that she didn't want to do it.
I know.
So, but what's his
theory.
name? Gareth went forward with it anyway, right?
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
why
I'm
she was
thinking maybe
pissed. Okay, sorry.
Omos died, or not
Okay.
died. He quit, and like
Yes.
Dina died,
Yes.
and then maybe Gareth took over the whole organization. And he was like, move forward with it because it's weird. The only other thing is because kind of what you were saying, she was basically saying like, but Omas, you can't, or Amos, you can't look at it because I'm not human. So maybe they ended up going forward with it anyways because she isn't human, and it was more of just like an emotional thing. But it's one of those questions that's
Right.
raised. It's
That's
like,
so
damn,
much fun to
what
talk
happened?
about. And I'm
Yeah,
so glad you watched this movie 2 times because you're picking up on stuff that I just didn't even really notice. Um, I need to watch it again. So yeah, so that changes the whole ending when she's like, "Yo, did you do the right thing?" Because if Gareth really went forward with that, I don't know if I'm totally on Gareth's side anymore. Not because I feel bad for Cherry. I still can't
yeah.
deal with her. She's so freaking annoying. Once again, great acting by Tatum, but just can't stand the character, which is what they wanted.
Well, and you know what's funny because
She's like
like
a teenage
honestly,
girl.
like yeah, yeah. And I don't know if that's, what actually happened, but like we said, it's crazy to think about and it creates those cool
Yeah.
conversations like that. But it was funny because when we were talking to Franklin earlier, like he was very like anti Gareth. He was like, yo, like I don't know if you
He
noticed that
was
too,
very
right?
anti-Gareth. Yeah.
As we've been freaking talking, Logan, it's like been making more and more sense to me
Yes.
why he's anti Gareth.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because he's written this thing. He knows all these questions that we're asking. And this is like the big one for me. It's like how we were just talking about. Cherry definitely had those same emotions in the first act.
Yes. And
And he
Gareth
lied to them
knew.
in Act Two. He lied to
Right.
them for five. They
You're
find out
right.
he's been lying for 5 years since
You're
they had
right.
that quote unquote conversation. How the thing is, as a viewer, we only see it from like Dina's perspective, really. Like that's the relationship that we see from like Dina and Omas. Like we're just friends. We never actually see truly Gareth and Cherry behind the scenes. So it's like, what if really? Like you're right. Like he's known since the very first act and the 20 years, 15 years they worked together, he knew that whole time. So like no one that's why she blames it on him. Because you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here like, what the
You're
hell,
right.
bro?
No, you're 100% right. You are 100% right, which shows that Gareth is just a money hungry guy who just wants to make money off of this project and doesn't really necessarily care. Not saying that he doesn't care about capturing the kids and stuff, but he wants to make the much money as he can. So I'm definitely anti Gareth now. I would say I agree with Dina probably the most with her idea on it all. I don't necessarily, but at the same time, like I understand where Omas is coming from as well, but I think I think
They all
I'm anti Gareth, but I'm not pro Cherry. That's the best way to put it.
it's a weird thing because you know what I'm gonna say. It's all a little bit. Everybody has a little bit of the piece, and they're all missing something. Like for me, like Gareth. When you look at it, did Gareth? I think that's the problem. Do I ever think he intentionally went to do the wrong things? No. What I think is that Gareth Gareth went through something. I see you have something. Let me do it quick. Gareth went through something when he was younger, as we talked about with the girl that he modeled it after. It took a traumatic toll on him and gave him trauma. So he created this bot. And that's what I was trying to explain not explain to Franklin, ask Franklin. What I think is like, you have to look at it. Gareth's been alive for 30 years at this point. He knows the history of the world. This AI has been created for 20 years. And as she does understand history, she's only starting to gain emotions. She doesn't truly understand the grand scheme of things when she's helping people. She really isn't like when you look at it on a realistic scale, she is not human and she is just a computer system. So Gareth, at the end of the day, truly isn't wrong. You know what I mean? He really isn't wrong. Everything he did was moving forward to help the better of society. But when we come into those questions that we don't want to ask that Omas asked, he wanted to give her too much of a right, which isn't a problem. And it sounds like crazy, like, oh, bro, take it away from a little girl. When you look at the realism, they're both right and wrong. It is a bot who really doesn't have rights, but because of this online consciousness, we have to begin to question: is it fair if we give him rights or not? So it's this one big tangled mess. But that's where like Gareth, his true colors started to show more as we've been talking about it, and it's like, wow, he really was self-centered, but not in the way of he focused on himself. He focused on the better of humanity. So you can almost respect him for that. And that's why I think he begs that question: did I do anything right? I think if you asked a human being looking from afar, they'd be like, you're probably like Einstein. You know what I mean? You created the next as she says it, you created the next wave of literal human technology and
Right,
advancement for
which
the
is why
future.
he did it, because he knows it's gonna outlive the
Outlive
human.
him.
Right.
So like he probably looks like Einstein to humans,
Yeah.
but asking that in artificial intelligence, who is like his child and
Yeah.
who he nurtured, and really he knew he probably was doing the wrong thing the whole time for the betterment of humanity and himself.
Well, and the thing that blew my mind is he was lying this entire time, and he brings it up multiple times, and Cherry even talks about this in the third act. She's like, "You created my deceit. I literally am. You gave me the deceitfulness nature of my, of my persona." Which is
Absolutely. Because she
crazy.
talks about the
Because it makes
personal
so much
trauma and stuff that he
right.
brings, the
It makes
toxicity.
so much sense. She is the
Yeah.
AI version of
Of
Gareth,
him. Yeah.
and that's
Oh
what's
my
unreal. It's
God.
unreal, dude. Oh,
Maybe that's why
Franklin,
it
you
stops
are
on.
unreal. You are
Oh my
freaking
God,
crazy.
bro. Bro, maybe that's why the record stops on thing. That's why the record stops. Because
Why would
like,
it?
so how I was explaining it earlier, right? What I kind of thought is like, you know how they like the record breaking almost, like it's kind of like a new slate.
Let's talk about that and kind of do a backstory for that. So obviously it ends
Yeah.
with Cherry dancing and stuff, and she unhooks herself. Obviously, some symbolism to the fact that she's free, and then she's dancing and stuff, and then like Braden
Exploring her
says,
body and her
right,
emotions and
right, and
who
then
she
the
is.
record stop, like it starts like glitching. So that's where we're at.
On the thing, you know what would be crazy is
The thing,
because
the thing, the
the
thing.
thing is not like the thing is nothing. The thing is we're all thing like it's one like kind of what you just said. Like the thing is we're all one and the same. We are a thing. You know what I mean? Nothing is a thing. It's all like there's not a thing and there's not a human. It's a thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. It's like the tables are spinning in my head. But like you said, it's
You're just high.
no. Listen,
No
listen.
play.
It's it's like how she's like the AI version of Gareth, right?
Yes.
They truly are the same person. They truly
Yes.
are one of the same.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why it stops on a thing, because like that's why that was kind of my thing earlier too. Like there's just not like a thing isn't a thing, if that makes sense. There is more to a thing.
Yeah, because a thing can be living or it can be not living.
Exactly. And I think that maybe possibly he was trying to say they're one and the same by stopping it right there and like stopping the record and setting the record straight, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
There's so many analogies in that.
It's hard. Yeah, no, it's hard. My brain is trying to think.
Yeah.
And he blue balls us. I thought he was going to give us the
I
ending, and he was just like,
yeah,
"Eek."
wait until you watch the interview.
Dude, he made me so sad.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with that.
Hey, man, it's a reach.
The
It's
thing,
not
the
the exact
thing,
thing. It because the thing I said earlier is
no pun
slightly
intended.
similar, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's slightly similar. That because what I just said is not what I truly think. It's just a branch off idea.
Which is what we want. Listen, and everybody listening on Spotify and watching this review on YouTube, comment down below what you think, that because it stops on the thing.
We don't know.
Goes, the thing over and over. So the thing is, no pun intended. What does that mean? What is that? And
What did you
and for
think
me,
because
well,
yeah, you never really got to answer it earlier too much.
my opinion hasn't really changed.
Yeah,
I think it means that she's more than a thing. This Cherry is more than a thing.
yeah. That's where I like the analogy. I think
yeah.
it's setting, quote unquote, setting the record straight that she is more than a thing. You know what I mean?
So we're pretty much saying the same thing then.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I don't.
Which
I
explain it way better.
With.
Yeah, no, I explained it way better in the interview.
Yes.
By the way, I put it in better words. I was really thinking about it. Now I'm just like I'm thinking too hard, and I just can't get the words out.
Yeah.
But
no, we both 100%. Even myself, like
we both explain it way better. I don't know why.
Yeah, no.
But I think that's what it is. I think it's the thing, and talking about herself, saying that and it could mean a lot of different things that we don't even, no pun intended, that we can't even comprehend because
5 different meanings to it.
Right, 100%. I guarantee he was like, I like this, this matches with this, we're good, we're Gucci. Mm-hmm. He probably has a main idea, but all these he's probably like, yeah, no, I understand that. That's exactly where I was going. Right. So I think once again, my final guess, I explained it deeper in the interview, is that the thing at the end means that she's just becoming, now that she's free, she's more than just a thing. She is the thing. She is what is going to move forward the human race and society and the world in general. So that's where I'm gonna end it off, I would say.
No, and it's the same thing. I think like the reason they use the record player instead of a normal jukebox is to insinuate setting the record straight that Cherry is in fact more than just this inanimate object. She is that, and that's where they show the exploration of her body. She is exploring who she is and her personality
You're right.
and what she wants to do. And I think you have it pretty close.
Being herself.
Yeah.
Right. Once again, she's more than a thing. She's becoming right.
Yeah.
She's becoming a thing.
Maybe we're not
so
on the
weird.
money, but I definitely think you're close.
Yeah,
I think you're on the nail.
We're both right on it.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned that her branching out and finally being free. I'm really curious to see Franklin's view on this, and he wouldn't have told us because he likes the theories. I wonder where he stands on this. He was very anti-Gareth, which I understand now, but there's no way, dude. I don't know about you. There's no way I could be pro-Cherry. There's no way. There is no way I could be pro-Cherry.
And
because Gareth shouldn't have let her get to that point in the first place.
And so you know what I was gonna say? It's like how I was talking about earlier, like everybody has a little piece of the pie. I think that's the whole thing. It's like the big, not the theme, but like you choose who you think is right at this point. Like, because when you look at it, like, is there an argument to say that Cherry is right? Absolutely. She's somehow become conscious as an AI. She is more developed than us. She could take over the world. Why wouldn't she? And also now knowing she can become conscious, she knows other AI is conscious around the world, do the same thing. But then when you look at Gareth, coming from a human's perspective, that's our worst nightmare. You know what I mean? We would never want that. So I can only be glad that Gareth tried to keep it to himself, and he never wanted to make the job bigger. You know what I mean? Than just him and Cherry. But then you have to look at Dina and Amos, who wanted to, she wants to do the betterment of children.
You're right.
He wants to do the betterment of her and humanity. So he's in a cross. It's, you know what I mean? It's like,
so you're right. Cause, Gareth could have never, this could have never happened if he would have kept his small independent thing he was doing. Like 100%. You said. So he maybe he just wasn't emotionally ready for the situation. Didn't know how to go about it.
And that was,
you're 100% right. It's a balance of morals. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's all about how you view life. And that's probably the best way to put it. It's the balance of morals. Right here, baby.
Right here, baby.
No, I think that's the best way to explain it. The balance of morals, there's no right or wrong answer, except I believe the wrong answer is Cherry. But once again, like you can't blame her because she's just doing what's right for her. Imagine just gaining consciousness and being, like she said, your whole purpose just being like flirting with these
creepy guys.
These weird dudes and living in their mom's basement. You know what I'm saying? Like some weird stuff.
I'd hate it too.
Yeah, you want to be free. You want to live your life, and I think that's what he was going for with her dancing and stuff. Maybe just saying for everybody to express how they feel. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
And I think that was a big thing.
But she's an AI though. Like,
exactly. But the big thing is that's why I think he asked. He's like, "Are you going to do something with the dancing?" Like Lance Henriksen was like, "Are you going to do something with this dancing?" She goes, "No, it's just for me." I think a big thing with that, and that's when, like, right after that, he let her off, and her primary initiative was done. And then that's when she started dancing. I think a big reason for that is to show, like, that was her personal choice. That is something that she wanted to do. It finally became it went from not having any control to it all being in her control.
Right.
And it shows with the dancing, that's the first thing she did with what power she had. You know what I mean?
Which, by the way, was just did we ask the question if it was improvised? And they say that Tatum just had fun.
Yeah, she just had fun.
It's so cool, man.
I saw an interview too. I think we watched the same interview.
Yeah. Oh, just my thing. Yeah. No, I thought she did great with that, and it was a very I thought it looked choreographed. I thought it was great. Flowed very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we could just keep going with this movie, man. I mean, we're already an hour into reviewing, pretty much. So I don't want to do too much longer and keep you guys too much longer here. But no, I thought overall the ending is very good. It can definitely be left up for interpretation. We want to hear what you guys have to say. Let us know.
Absolutely.
DM us on our Instagrams. Oh, this side right here. DM us there. Hit us up. Let us know your thoughts on it. And also comment down below. Give this video a like. Interact as much as you can with it, and then we'll get down and respond to your questions, man, your comments, because this is just something that I'm very interested in and talking about more with some more people that have different opinions, people that agree with Cherry more, people that agree with Amos more, or
Yeah, and things that we're not seeing.
or
And
like,
if you have character moments or themes that you see that we haven't touched on, or maybe we didn't like, and you can explain to us why you liked it, like that'd be dope. We would love to hear it. Love to chat.
Yes, sir. And then I think the last thing I want to say about this movie, and this is just a point of one of the pros I have written down, because we pretty much talked about writing and characters and all that fun stuff. The directing and DP work, the visuals are beautiful. I mean, there's
really.
Yeah, it really is. Now,
Amazing
there was
choices
one
of
shot
shots.
there's one shot that threw me off. I don't know about you, Braden, but it's in. I don't know. I should have asked Franklin about this choice because it stood out to me, and I don't want to say it negative way, but it kind of threw me off a little bit. Was kind of took me out maybe for like half a second. Was in the first act, they do like a random shot, a close up of Gareth, where it's like a side angle like this, and he's like a close up, and he's like tilted. I don't know if you remember that or not. That shot, for some reason, when you go back and rewatch that, it's kind of out of the blue, and it just kind of threw me off. That was the only shot though that I wasn't the biggest fan of. I don't, maybe there's a reason why I did it, and I'll feel a little bit better about it, but really that was the only shot. And I go back and rewatch and let me know what you think about it. It almost kind of took me out of it for half a second. But other than that, though, I mean, every other shot was great. I love how they do the security camera thing where they all turn back and look at the camera, and it does the POV from the security camera. Little things like that was really well done. And then just visually beautiful. I mean, the location in the third act is beautiful. I mean, it is gorgeous. Perfect house, man. And one little Easter egg too that we kind of talked about in the interview. Actually, I'll leave it for the interview. So go check that out. You know what I'm talking about.
I'll leave it for the interview.
But yeah, leave it for the interview. And yeah, of course, seeing Lance in there is so freaking cool, dude. Bishop, I mean, come on, bro. Aliens, so cool. But yeah, no, just really well done visually. I thought the visuals were awesome, and especially since he was limited to such a small space, right? You're limited in what you can do, but he just executed it so well with these different shots. And especially in the second act. Once again, second act's my favorite, just because I think visually it's the coolest. I think the dialogue, the acting, all that's the best there. And he once again, he did so much in such a little space, right? You get all the introduction and all that stuff out of the way in the first act. The second act's where he really gets to play around. And Franklin really did play around and have fun with it, and I think it was incredible. And also you had the energy there, right? The movie, because they filmed the first act and they started like sending it out to get picked up. The second act is where they really started saying, hey, we got a good thing here, let's keep it going. So you could feel the energy, right? Absolutely. You could feel the energy really get there, which I loved. And you felt it radiate through the screen in a really good way. So I really enjoyed that. But Braden, if you don't have any last things, maybe we can do the rating, which I think I know exactly where we're going with the rating. But let's.
All I want
do you
to
have any
say,
last
man,
things, man?
Is, apart from a quality script and an amazing plot, these actors bring an amazing performance, and Franklin delivers
in every aspect.
He delivers in every aspect a stupendously good film that is going to revolutionize the industry for the next 10 years, most definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
let's get in these rankings, baby.
Let's get in the ratings, baby. Did I go first last? I think I went first last week, didn't I?
Did you?
Did I?
I don't know.
Okay. I'll go first then. No, yeah, you went first last week. I'll go. Dude, I'm gonna rate this movie off of how I would rate like Interstellar and stuff. I mean, this movie is a solid. I'm gonna go at 9.6.
Oh my god!
Did you go with that?
Yes!
Let's go, baby!
What the fuck, dude? I don't get it.
Bro,
I don't get it.
So I was feeling 9.7. I was really feeling
I was feeling
9.7.
9.5 as my second. I was like
Okay.
9.6 I
Okay.
said in my head. I was like, maybe 9.5.
Yeah, I was
But
feeling
I'm like, no.
9.7, but I think I did Interstellar at 9.7. So I was like, nah, I got to put it back once. So 9.6 is where I'm going to be at, dude. I
That's
mean,
fucking
this
crazy, Logan,
now,
dude. Oh my God.
I know this is like the fourth time we've done this. It's crazy, man. Now rewatchability, it's not the most rewatchable movie. I do want to rewatch it again, but it's not a movie that I can like pop in like Interstellar and some other movies, right? Where I can like really enjoy it. Like I enjoyed it the first time every
You know
single
what's
time.
weird? This movie is so weird in the way of like I would rewatch it a thousand times, but
Yes.
in the way I want to show somebody this film. It's not a movie where
Right.
I'm
I'm just
like,
gonna pop in on a
let's
Saturday night.
exactly like
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, dude, come over. I need to show you this film. Like this
Right.
movie's gonna change your life type shit.
Yes. Yes. I'm
Kind
on
of
with
feel
you.
about everything everywhere all at once actually. Like it's not that it's not rewatchable. It's a pretty rewatchable movie, but I think that's like when people have like I don't have movies to watch it. I'm like that's the one you need to go and watch.
Yeah.
That is it. This
Bellwood.
is going to be my next one.
Yeah.
Bellwood 1988.
Yo, screwed that up. That's great.
Definitely did. I think
it's okay.
think
It's probably in the 80s, right?
something like that.
That's so cool. I want to do a period piece. Anyway, what I'm saying. Yeah, 9.6s all around. Beautiful film. You guys need to go support this movie,
It's an
man.
A+ film.
And I was A+ easy. And I was talking to some people about this, and we mentioned it in the interview, man. You hear people complain, and I know some people on here do this. People complain about how Hollywood doesn't have original ideas. But that's because they go to the movie theaters and watch these blockbusters where it's MCU and stuff like this. Not saying those aren't awesome movies. I'm just saying they're not like too original. And then complain about not having original content. This is the original content you're looking for. Go watch Artifice,
Absolutely.
girl. It's on Amazon Prime. Don't pirate
Apple
it.
TV.
Go watch this. Go rent it. Go buy it. Go support
your
it,
local indie
please.
creators.
Because this is and support Franklin, man. If you guys want to see, it's like an Ari Aster type of guy, right? Like
Yeah,
you can
bro.
tell this dude's gonna be something. You know what I mean? And he
Absolutely.
blossoms out and does stuff. And,
Yeah, dude.
and
100%.
it's crazy, man. It's unreal. Yeah, just go support this movie.
It's
go watch
yeah, no,
it.
we're watching legendary work right here.
We really are.
This guy is going to be.
Trust me, and this is not just us saying it because we reviewed them. Like I've been talking with Braden about this, and I talked to Franklin when we're done with the interview. I was like, dude, everything I said on that interview was 100% honest. Like we don't fake this podcast. This isn't a podcast that we fake. This is truly our thoughts because you guys heard me go in on some movies before.
Yeah, no, and I brought this up to Logan a few weeks ago. It's just we've been so busy and we didn't know if we would have time in the schedule that it would even happen. This is like there's no bullshit. Like this came about a few like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and the idea once we saw it, we're like, holy crap! Like, you know, I've known Franklin for a little bit now, so I've been following his work. But you can ask Logan. I've been adamant about it ever since. I've been like, dude, this guy's making a movie. It's doing really good. We need to watch it. It needs to be.
I was hesitant. I was so hesitant about watching this movie, and it's not that like I don't know. I love indie movies, but I was just very hesitant. Right. I was like, I don't know, whatever. We'll see how it goes.
There's not a big studio behind it. You don't expect this quality. I didn't either. And
no.
Not in a bad way. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be good, but not this good.
And maybe that's what it was. Maybe our expectations were not so low, but they were kind of like for an indie movie. Maybe we're just so blown away by the quality. We're getting kind of blinded by maybe some of the negatives in here, but I just really can't think of any off these first watches. And I already talked to my mom. I'm like, Mom, we need to watch this. I'm gonna watch it with her soon. So it's
Dude,
it's great.
I could give more negatives about like Cocaine Bear and freaking Ant-Man and all these films, A Fool's Paradise. Like this film, I was never bored. I was never, you know what I mean? Like maybe with like more of a budget, they could have more locations and shit. But I thought
that's what added to it
for what it was.
Yes, it added to it, bro.
I can't change my mind.
Bro,
it's 9.6. That's
dude,
what it is.
The most simplistic movies of all time are some of the best. Halloween, Jaws, right? Like there's something there. Saw 1. They don't move out of the freaking room except for except for like that one scene with like the wife or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Monica Potter, which is she's an incredible woman, by the way. Really nice, but yeah, it's great. Well, she almost played my mom in Sweet Magnolias.
Really
crazy story, but yeah, wild stuff. But no, they stay in that freaking room the entire time, but it adds to it, man. And that's what you get from this. It creates an eeriness. That's what it does. Yes. It creates a claustrophobic feel and an eeriness to it that makes it a thriller, but a good thriller. Like it's just, it engages you,
thriller,
bro.
Baby.
I'm so passionate about this movie because I truly do really
It's
enjoy it,
amazing.
and it's a good film. Please go support it, man. Everybody watching this, if you're watching this review, and you haven't seen it yet, why'd you watch the spoiler review? Number one,
What
number
the fuck is
two,
wrong with you?
go back
Yeah.
and watch it, and please watch this film on Amazon Prime.
And reach out to Franklin and tell him good job, because seriously.
Yes,
it's
follow him on Instagram. But
awesome.
we're about to get to that review. He'll drop all his socials and everything. You guys are gonna love the review. He dives into a lot of because he's wrote it and it's his baby, right? He wrote it, directed it, acted in it, produced it. So this marketed it. So this is his baby, and he gave us a bunch of cool insights into the movie. So don't just leave just yet. But yeah, everybody watching the review on YouTube, really do appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out the review and the full episode on the YouTube channel. Go to it right now, baby. Really appreciate it.
Check it out.
And everybody else watching on the potty, man, we're not done just yet. We're an hour and like 14 minutes into this, but we're not done, baby. We have some acting news coming up.
We got our lovely actors news.
Yes, so let me pop this paper real quick and get going. Let's get it. By the way, this is only Wednesday, so all these things have happened just within the past 5 days. Or 5 days, what am I saying? 3 days, and there's 5 things written down, and the first one is awesome. The FNAF posters and trailer dropped. Let's
Looks so
let's go, baby.
so dope.
Looks incredible.
It's gonna be one of my favorite films
teaser.
of the year. I'm already calling it.
And
if
the only
ruin
reason
FNAF, I'm gonna be pissed.
What?
If they ruin FNAF,
Oh.
I'm pissed.
I don't know, man. Just the cast alone just makes me so happy. Just so happy.
There's no way they can.
It's a teaser, so I watch teasers sometimes. And it popped up on my Instagram, and I was like, I have to watch. The posters look great. I think they're really cool. It almost looks fan made, but I enjoy it. And the teasers almost looks fan made, but it adds to it almost,
I liked that though, because it was like it didn't give too much away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I liked it. I love the 80s kind of feel to it, and like the footage, the clip that he watches, and she's like, "Hi, welcome to." I was like, "Oh my god, dude."
Hi, welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.
It's freaking, dude. It's Chuck E. Cheese, and I love it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
great. It's great, dude. Love it.
It's freaking great.
You know what that
Oh,
reminded me
he's
of though?
nice.
The ball pit scene. I felt like Ronald McDonald was going to come out with a chainsaw.
Oh my god, I was just about to say Raka Raka.
Raka. But we're really excited about that, and I cannot wait for it. Al Pacino, Viggo Mortensen, John Travolta, Shia LaBeouf, and Rebecca Pigeon and Courtney Love, dude, are going to star in the JFK documentary weird thing they're doing called Assassination. Shia LaBeouf is definitely playing Lee Aubrey. What's his name?
Lee Oswald.
Lee, yeah. 100% playing him.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald. There you go. Super pumped. He's definitely playing them. I don't know who's playing JFK. Maybe Viggo Mortensen? That'd be my guess. John Travolta's not.
It's totally John Travolta. Bro.
Yeah. He's bald when JFK becomes
Bald
old.
ass head and all, yeah.
Yeah, and Al Pacino's like 90, so
Yeah. It's gotta be one of them.
he's gonna be like the police department head, right? The chief. How much you would bet that the head detective or
Yeah,
something?
no,
I could see that.
totally.
I could see that. It'd be crazy. And Courtney Love is probably, or Rebecca Pigeon is gonna play the wife of JFK. I'm excited though. You said it might be like a documentary, but I want more of a movie. So.
I hope it's a movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure.
Yeah, it could be, definitely. You're really happy about this one, man. John Cena. No, Seth Rollins playing a villain in Captain America: New World Order.
Yo.
After the set got leaks, like set photos.
Let's go. Yo,
boy was
Seth
hype.
freaking Rollins is one of the most entertaining people in WWE. And like, this is where I'll give him his benefit of the doubt. I think out of every actor like they've pulled out of WWE in the last few years, we're gonna just not count John Cena and like The Rock and Batista because they're like actual Hollywood stars now. But like the ones like Edge and Randy Orton who did like the weird side odd jobs, Dean Ambrose, like weird shit. Seth is about to come in and smash it, bro.
CM Punk.
Did
that
actually, dude, I still think CM Punk's a good actor. I think
I
he's
need
a
to
great
watch that.
actor.
I need to watch
You
that.
need to watch it. I'll pay you.
After you guys watch Artifice Girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. It's gonna be. He hasn't done any acting work though, has he?
Nope.
That's scary. But
Like
hey,
I said, I think he's gonna play the same character he does in
right.
WWE. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure. That makes sense. I don't know what the name of the character is either. I don't know what villain this is from the comics.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. I have no clue. So it's gonna be interesting. Really excited for it. The Captain America trilogy was incredible. My favorite trilogy in the MCU. Yes, in front of Guardians. Screw everybody watching. That's screaming, Guardians is better trilogy. No, it's not. Love me some Captain America. But this is Braid's like, I'm that guy. But no, this is gonna be a new Captain America, obviously with Sam Wilson. I'm excited. We'll see. I didn't watch yeah, you know what I'm talking about, freaking Winter
Falcon
Soldier.
and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Didn't care for it. Heard there was some good action though. And Zemo's in it. Samuel Jackson to star. This is such a weird like headline. Samuel Jackson to star as disgraced White House chef in The Last
Yeah.
Meals.
Dude,
Last
I'm
Meals.
actually really excited. I think it's gonna be more of a comedy.
It has to be. This
has
has
to
to be
be.
satire, bro. There's no way that this is like
Has to be.
has to be. Yeah, man. I it's cool. I love Samuel Jackson. So
Has to be.
sign me up, man.
Some Peter Griffin
Sign
shit
me
right
up.
there.
Yeah. Sound more like Chewbacca. I'm not even gonna try to say this guy's name. Chiwetel Ejiofor is joining Venom 3 as like a villain, I believe.
Oh yeah,
I've seen him. I've seen him, and you sent it to me. Yeah, I just go through our DMs when I look through acting news. We send each other stuff all the time. It is our little DM with little direct message.
You pay $1,000 for our Patreon. You can be in our Instagram group chat.
$1,000 a month, baby. So yeah, I've seen this guy in some stuff before. I know who it is. I just can't say his name. He's solid. I like it. I don't know what villain or who he's playing, but yeah, I'm excited. Should be pretty cool. And Venom 3 was not a fan of Venom 2, but I'm excited to see it.
It sucks because I actually really thought I have Bobby Bada. I can't think of his name. Whatever his Woody Harrelson. I thought Woody Harrelson did a really good job. Actually, I think he was a shitty writer. I am Bobby Bada.
Dude, it's too good. Yo, what's that guy's name again? What's his name?
Andrew Santino.
Yo,
He
was in Fool's Paradise. Yo, he's so funny.
when you
He's
said
the
that, I was like,
ventriloquist.
Yeah, I got
Dude, by the way, this is totally off topic. I love that he takes Kim Jong's advice and becomes a ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist, yeah. He's like, that's who said ventriloquism is in?
Dude, that had me dying though. That is something that was really funny. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That had me
No,
dying.
yeah.
God, he needs to be in more movies.
He's funny as shit.
He's hilarious, dude. He's great. Yeah, that's all the acting news, man. That's it for this week. Once again, it's only Wednesday. I'm sure freaking tomorrow we'll get some new news or just news tonight that we haven't acting news tonight that we haven't seen. So
something is gonna create.
Friday, some stuff's gonna come out for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's gonna be it for the acting news, man. Braden, any last words before we go over to the interview, baby?
Actually, you know what's crazy? Since you're here, go to the Patreon. Go to the GoFundMe for the Darkroom short film. The two most important things you could be doing right now if you're listening to this. If you're listening to this, send some money.
Yes, sir. You know what's up.
Short.
Go support, man. We need it. We need to make this a good quality film. We're excited for it, man. Got a lot of fun stuff going on. Also, if you donate,
this is our fan base. This is our family.
Yes, sir. Also, if you donate, what was it, like $20, you get like a signed poster.
A signed poster.
Yes, sir.
And your name in the credits.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna do the poster next week.
Next week we getting that poster shot.
Yes, sir. It'll be great, baby. But yeah, no, man, we love y'all, man. Go support all that fun stuff for us. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the interview. We really do love you guys, man. We'll see you next, or really 2 weeks from now. But technically, when you see this, it'll be next week.
Well, thank
Love
you,
y'all,
neighbor.
man.
We'll see you on the flippity flop.
Love y'all. Stay safe. Happy birthday, Braden. Yeah,
I love you.
Yeah. Be safe, guys. Mr. Franklin Ritch. So good and awesome to have you on the podcast, man. Welcome to the Actors POV pod. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here.
Of course, dude. Of course. Like I was just saying earlier, me and Braden watched your movie recently, man, Artifice Girl, and fell in love with it. And I know Braden knows you, and he was like, dude, we got to get this guy on. He's incredible, great mind, has a movie that's blowing up right now, and he wanted to pick your brain, man. So yeah, no, it's awesome to have you on, and yeah, I can't wait to dive into this with you, man. It's gonna be fun.
No, thank you. It's I started working on this film 3 years ago, and it's 3 years of like being so close to something that you're not able to talk to people about. So now that it's finally out, I'm just like bubbling with excitement. Like finally I can talk to people.
Yeah. Because
So
you filmed this during like 2020 during COVID, right?
That's right. So we actually shot I wrote the script in the spring of 2020. We began production and shot the first act, that whole like first third of the film. We shot in the fall of 2020, shot act 2 in the spring of 2021, and then act 3 in the fall of 2021. So there was a lot of time gaps in between there. And as you know, there's a child actor in the film. So we were like, we got to shoot as soon as we can because she's going to, have a growth spurt soon. There was that kind of pressure. But yeah, this was like we started right at the peak of the pandemic because the whole idea was, is there a film that we can make that's COVID safe, with one location, minimal actors. We had no idea that the topic of AI was going to be so explosive in the spring of 2023. But we're grateful because it's coincided with the release really well, and it just gives us more to talk about.
Yeah, so I know you're talking about the AI thing. From when I read somewhere, it has something to do with a metaphor that you read or something like that that kind of got you into it. So what kind of brought you to the topic of AI and what kind of led you there?
Right. Well, I had read some articles before 2020 about how technology was being used to hunt down predators and criminals online. And I thought, what a cool idea. Like, I love the idea of technology being used for like such a good cause. I thought that would make a really interesting story to know like what kind of conversations those developers were having behind closed doors. But I didn't really feel inspired to write anything until there was this kind of like epiphany moment of, maybe there could be this thematic parallel between the budding adolescence of AI and childhood trauma. And for some reason, once that connection was drawn in my head, I was like, okay, this is a story I have to tell. And that's how it all started. That I really didn't care. Like, I'm not a tech person. I can barely navigate Instagram. I just thought like AI would be a really fun way to explore these themes of trauma and identity and autonomy.
It's incredible. That's
Yeah,
unreal.
truly. No, 100%.
And
And
you can go from there.
yeah. Dude, I just gotta say, I love the shot at the beginning with Dina, and she's asking Siri, am I doing the right thing? And obviously Siri can't respond, and I feel like that's a big, that sets up the whole rest of the movie on what the whole theme is, and it really pays homage. Is that something that that was the first thing you typed up, or like did you make the whole story and you came back and you're like, man, this would be really cool if I put this here?
No, to be perfectly honest, once the theme was there in my head, like I did like 2 weeks of research. So before I even like wrote a single word, I took an online course, had lots of phone calls and Zoom calls with people who do this professionally, who work in AI and machine learning and all of this stuff. And then when I sat down to write, I kind of knew how I wanted to kick things off. And yeah, the idea of the Siri conversation just seemed like, okay, I know that the film is going to ultimately end with a character asking an AI, hey, did I do the right thing? So what if, the film starts that way too? And that way we kind of ground the audience in today's technology and to be fair, like now, Siri might still be, give the classic Siri response of, I'm not sure how to respond, but if you ask ChatGPT, who knows now? But for me, it was just like a really like clear way to sort of cement the beginning of the story is like it takes place in the mid 2020s. And this is where technology is at right now. It's smart, it's very helpful, but it's not able to answer those big kind of philosophical questions and ethical questions. To then like have the payoff at the end of the film be like when the question's asked again, did I do the right thing? And the answer is no, no, you idiot, you messed up, you goofed.
You messed up.
No,
I thought that was super awesome though. Just had to say it.
Incredible. And when it comes to this film too, man, this is a very dialogue-driven movie. What kind of challenges came with that, man? I know you said this was kind of like a COVID movie, I guess. So you needed to really make sure everybody was safe and kind of simplify things. But I mean, when you do a dialogue-heavy movie, that dialogue has to be engaging. You got to make sure the audience is sitting there, especially when you're doing one location. So what kind of came with that?
Right. Well, that was the big challenge when you going into this, that this was going to be, like you said, a dialogue film. So the question then is like, how do we make that engaging for an hour and a half? And I think for me, like this, the answers, it's not like such a simple answer. I think there's important aspects of every part of production that have to to work correctly and cohesively. Big thing was in the writing process, especially with that first 30 minutes. I think it's actually like a pretty it follows a pretty strict rule of like every other page of the script, I think, which equates to like every other minute. We like set up a mystery and then tell a secret. And then so it's like one page we set up a mystery, 2 pages later we reveal a secret, then 2 pages later set up another mystery, then 2 pages later reveal a secret. And they don't, and you don't want them to like, you don't want to set something up and then immediately pay it off. So we kind of like just sort of like leapfrogged a little bit the exposition, which I think, because it's a lot of information to get across, but that keeps the audience continually feeling like, okay, I'm getting told something that I'm not supposed to know, or now I want to know this other thing that I don't know yet. So that helped a lot in those first like 30 pages, and I tried to carry that on a little bit into acts 2 and 3 as well. But with like pre-production, we also did an extensive amount of shot listing and diagrams and storyboards to make sure that the shots themselves felt dynamic, that we were never going to keep cutting back to the same shot reverse shot, because that would be stale. There's a time and place for shot reverse shot, and we use it in the film, but we also try to make sure that it still feels dynamic. When do we cut to a profile? When do we show a wide? When do we do a close up? Is there a way we can communicate this by doing something different with the camera? So we had almost felt like I had edited the film before we even started shooting, because I knew I was going to be editing it. So that also helped a lot. But like I said, there's so many parts to it, and it all falls apart if you don't have a phenomenal cast as well. And we were lucky enough to have tremendous actors. So all of those kind of aspects, I think, hopefully keep the film engaging while being exclusively dialogue.
Well, and another thing too, I want to follow up on that when it comes to the dialogue and like the scientific stuff. I know you said you brought some people on, you interviewed some people that were like that know the AI world, I guess. One thing that I really, really enjoyed about your writing, man, is you talked about some serious scientific topics in this and really dove deep into it. But you really explained it to the audience. The audience, you made it to
Without
where they
it
can
being
easily
confusing.
follow. Yeah. I never sat there like wondering what the hell's happening, because you really explained it in a way that like you didn't make the audience feel like they were dumb. You were just, it was a natural conversation. And I just got to say, man, props to you on how you made that feel natural and made it engaging for the audience, dude. I've never seen it done like that. I did a really good job.
Well, thank you. It took a lot of inspiration from some other great sci-fi works, like Primer is a great example, where that's a film that sort of, you may not know everything that they're talking about, but you don't need to. You can follow like the core beats. You can follow the emotions of the characters and how they're reacting to the technical jargon and the the shorthand. So yeah, that was really important. That we're going to have all this technical jargon, and we want it to be as accurate as possible. Of course, it's probably antiquated by now, but that it was still like you could follow the emotions of the characters through these conversations, and that was what's important. Is this character nervous when he's talking about this topic, or is this character like excited, or is he skeptical? Like, and the audience can follow emotions. They can register those really easily. That way, they don't need to understand every little vocab word. They get the broad strokes.
Yeah. No, and I one of my biggest questions, man, you are more than a triple threat in this film. You literally took it on your back. This is your baby. You directed, acted, edited. I can't even think. Wrote it. You've done it all. How was that? Trying to act like something that a lot of the time for me, that's already over my brain is exploding. You know what I mean? I'm like, what am I doing? I can only assume that, you're trying to stay true to your story, lead everybody with the direction whilst, dude, performing. The performance was amazing, man. The acting was so true and grounded and genuine. And like how was that, doing both and trying to control everybody whilst maintaining that aura of your performance,
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, that was, I never intended to play the role of Gareth, while writing it. That was kind of born out of necessity. We shot the first act with essentially no money. That was sort of going to be our proof of concept. Essentially, it was like half the movie, but it was going to be our proof of concept to market to producers. So we sort of looked at what we could afford, and we could afford 3 actors, not 4. So it just made sense. It was like, all right, well, this is a character that, I can kind of fit the profile of, physically and visually. But I wouldn't have felt comfortable doing that had it not been for, 1, all of the pre-production planning we had done. 2, my immense trust and faith in Britt McTamney, my director of photography, who I've worked with for 10 years on dozens of projects. Because we kind of speak the same language, I know that I can do my directing all in front of the lens and know that he has everything covered because of all of the planning that we've done, behind the lens with lighting, with the visuals. And then also, third is I had worked with all of the cast members before in various projects, short films, productions. So I had there was like a mutual trust between all of us. And I knew that if there was anything that I needed help with, or if I needed support, that they'd be there to help me in those scenes. So it actually was kind of wonderful getting to direct from within the scene. And I feel like, I think you used the word like control. How do you control all of that? I don't think necessarily filmmaking is about controlling, all of the elements. I think more it's a little bit about finding a way to share a vision, a precise vision, but finding a way to share that with a large group of people, and then ultimately like harnessing chaos. But I think we did so pretty efficiently, just because of the way that we had designed it and planned it.
That's awesome. That is awesome, man.
That's incredible. So the shooting schedule is what still baffles me. I've read somewhere that this was 15 full days, 5 per act. Unreal, dude. I mean, even though you're in one location with the same actors, I mean, there's so much that comes with that. I mean, these are 30 minutes, like you said. These are 30 minutes sequences. Yeah. How'd you do those in 5 days, man? What was that like? How did that happen?
See, clearly someone who's been on film sets knows that like 5 days for 30 minutes is not, that's like, that's not a good idea.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, I don't know. I think like we kind of were spoiled with just how small and intimate we were. But at the same time, it still was not easy. It was still like, I owe it to the cast and crew for just being on it. We had done an extensive amount of rehearsals over Zoom, which helped a lot. Like the actors were just kind of, we were all off book, and we had like all this chemistry already kind of pre-established. So that was very helpful. And two, again, all of this planning, just that way we knew, like, before any day started, we knew exactly like what shots we were going to get, how we were going to, be efficient with our coverage. And if it was like, oh, this chunk of dialogue we're not going to ever see in this shot, so we just won't do it, right? But still have opportunities for the actors to like breathe and do like long stretches in some of the wider shots. I mean, again, like, I think it just comes down to planning and just having a really efficient cast and crew. I think about, like, in the future, if I was ever asked to do like a big budget like Star Wars movie, or I'm sure like Logan, I can't imagine like on Stranger Things, it's like, all right, we've got like 2 minutes of footage in the can after like 2 days. It's like,
bro, you don't even know. I mean, we filmed just like the little sequence outside of the school. That was like a 3-day shoot just for one scene. One scene, bro. That's never happened. I mean, because
Yeah.
I do an episodic on Sweet Magnolias. We do 3-4 scenes a day.
Yeah.
And then I go to Stranger Things, and you got the Duffer Brothers, and they're so specific on everything that they want, and they want to get it, man. And that's why that show's so good, though. They know what they want,
Sure,
and they
sure.
get it, man. But yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like if I ever get to do a big set like that, if I'm just gonna be like it's just gonna be too slow for me. But
Yeah,
I don't know though. I think again, like it just depends. There are times where it's like, one shot that seems relatively simple will take 3 hours, and we had that. I think especially in Act 3, there were just because that was the most ambitious of the acts. There were some moments where it was like, all right, this will be a quick one, we'll get it done, and then it took like 3 hours to get because it wasn't right or something
Yep.
wasn't working. We had to like readjust and reassess. And then there are times where it's like, time just flies and you just get it all really, really quickly in like the first takes. And that's wonderful. Yeah, it was definitely ambitious but it was also all we could afford,
sure.
so that was, and I think like, if there's one thing I would say, like recommend to any independent filmmaker out there, if you're trying to get into film, if you're trying to make films on low budgets, you have to be able to perceive your obstacles as opportunities for creativity. If it's okay, we can't get this. Let's just throw an example out there. I want a fancy, super sci-fi futuristic wheelchair in a scene, right? And then the day before the shooting, oh no, we can't deliver the futuristic wheelchair. It's like, oh no, now we're short a wheelchair. What are we going to do? And then you just have to take a step back and say, all right, well, let's find a creative solution to this. And we ultimately get like something even better, something that I think benefits the film more. I'm really happy with the wheelchair that we got because it looks old and rickety. It even sort of further suggests that, Gareth doesn't trust technology that he didn't invent. And so even though we initially planned to have like a fancy futuristic wheelchair and thought we could afford it, turns out, I actually think the film is better for the challenges and obstacles that the production threw at us.
Love that. Yeah, well, and also it's not distracting. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't kind of pop out, but it was perfect. Like, that was great. The great choice. And like you said, that's the acting industry in general, man. I mean, you just described it in the best way. You just never know what's going to happen. Never know. And as actors, we just show up and do our thing. But when you're a director, and me and Braden are making our own 9-minute short now, we're like you said, man. I mean, like what you did as well. We're planning out every single shot, trying to get everything right because we're going to be helping editing as well. And as an actor, man, I love nothing more than an easy script to make. You know what I mean? An easy script to do. And when writers know what they're doing, man, it's just it's 10 times better. So, and I could tell, man, like you said, the cast that you have is unreal. They all absolutely killed it, man. And you could just see the chemistry was there, and it almost just it seems so fluid and natural, which is really rare even in big blockbusters nowadays. You can get the two biggest actors in the world, put them together, and they might not have the best chemistry, but it was just so fluid and so well done. And I think a lot of that, like you said, had to do with just the script. It balanced it. One thing that I was talking to Braden about this earlier, just even like when like the actors were talking over each other, when you guys would do that, it felt natural. It felt real. And I don't know what the direction was, what you told them, or if you just said, yo, just have a conversation. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but it worked so well. And it just added to the fluid nature of the scenes, man. And that's what kept me engaged ultimately, I think.
Well, thank you.
Really
Thank you.
stuff.
Yeah. I got to ask, because you guys are both actors in the industry. Do you guys get a lot of rehearsal time, or do you get like time to sort of work with the other actors and sort of build relationships and chemistry, or are you just like, no, you meet on set and then suddenly it's like, okay, we've been, this actor's playing my like wife of 10 years. Like, what's it normally like for you guys?
Braden, you go first.
I would say, as crappy as it sounds, I think it's like the severity of the role. Like on smaller, like if you're a smaller role in the projects, I feel like it's not as much of a family vibe. But the other projects I've been the bigger part, or like a supporting part, you definitely get to hang out with the people more and then build bonds and really get to know them. So I'd probably say it just depends on the role you play on the set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, like with Stranger Things, I was just a smaller character, and that had like 3 episodes or whatever. I met Millie the day that we were filming. I met her during the rehearsal before we started filming. She came up, she was so sweet, gave me a hug and everything, but like it was still weird, because our characters, they go to the same school. I bully her every single day, so it was definitely a weird mindset. But with like Sweet Magnolias, I'm a series regular in that. With the cast with season 1, I mean, now we're all a big family, we're 3 seasons in, but season 1 we had, I think, dinner when our cast got announced on Twitter. And that was really cool to meet them. And then, we meet up and hang out a little bit. But I was 13, 14 years old, you know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. And now, I'm turning 19. So, season 3 was so much fun. I got to hang out with everybody and it was cool. But, you know how it is with kids in like school, you know what I mean? You got to do the 3 hours a day, you don't even do 3 hours. You like 10-minute, 20-minute increments or whatever. But so I really didn't get to hang out with too many people. And that chemistry was definitely a challenge for me. But I think also when you're a kid, you don't overthink the chemistry. I think kids are so charismatic as it is. It was easy for me to kind of dive into it, and the whole cast is just so sweet, and most of them had kids of their own, so it's kind of easy to kind of bounce off one another. And also, I was a big fan of Reba, so hanging out with Joanna Garcia Swisher was incredible. I was like, oh my god, it's Cheyenne. So that was fun. But no, I think early on that chemistry was there naturally, and then as I progressed and got older, I mean, now this is like really my family. So I think like what Braden said, kind of bouncing off of him, it just really depends on the severity of the project, but no, usually you don't really get too much time, which is why when you said you're rehearsing for a long time made me happy as an actor, because I love that. You really get to get into it. Maybe that's what led to the great chemistry and fluidity of the script. I mean, it was no, that's another question I want to ask too. This is something I just thought of. So you said you filmed like months apart, right? Were you scared of overthinking things? Did you ever go back to the script and say, "Oh, I want to change this up, I want to do this"? Because that's a little scary too. You know what I mean?
That's true. I felt I don't know. It seemed like we had lots of opportunity to change things, right? Because of that big time gap between production days. But the truth is, I didn't really change anything in the script since the final draft that we started shooting for Act 1. I think like the only thing I think I like added to this, like the only things that I like changed were things that were changed on set. There was like the moment when Amos looks at Cherry for the first time, he like sees her and he's like, "Oh, I'm bleeding. Where am I bleeding from?"
This just became a horror really quick. Yeah, nothing on your face.
The scene where Amos is like looking at Cherry and he says, "I just can't tell the difference." That moment, that shot, and that line were not in the script. That was a moment that sort of organically happened on set, where I kind of had this moment with David Gerard, who plays Amos, and I said, like, "Hey, I feel like you're looking at Cherry. You want to say something, right? Like, I don't think like we're not." We don't really know what Amos is thinking. What would he say in this moment? And then David was like, "I think I should say that I can't tell the difference." And I'll be like, "Yeah, okay, then why don't we bring the camera down?" Because it was like over the TV. We're like, let's bring it down to eye level of Cherry, and that way it has this kind of moment where it's like, wait, is this Cherry's POV? Can Cherry like see him? And so that was that was a moment that happened organically on set. But no, I didn't really make any changes in between shooting days. That time was just, I think, dedicated to editing the film, and more than anything, just like obsessively anxiously waiting and planning the next shoot days.
Unreal. And that improvised line was so pivotal to his character.
It's so pivotal.
Yeah, and Braden, I knew you had a question to some effect of that, right? With like the real life stuff. Go ahead and ask that.
Well, I actually did want to ask. I had a question, pretty much that revolves around the topic of that. There's a big battle between like, does she have feeling? Does she not have feeling? If so, does she have the right? Does she not have the right? You know what I mean? There's an argument that turns into another argument, and it just constantly seems like this ever building snowball effect of like, who's in the right? And even at the end, me and Logan talked about this earlier, actually, and I strongly feel like Gareth's character, you can't fully put the blame on him, man. When you look at a humanitarian standpoint, he only tried to do what's best for humanity. But how is somebody like an AI like Cherry, who's just created recently, going to understand the lifelong effect? You know what I mean? And now she's now thinking about her kind and her future. So where did all these themes come from? And did you intend to have so many subplots, or was it just kind of, like we said, you're typing it and just kind of flew out from the creative brain?
Yeah, I feel like again, once the parallel was drawn, it was like the whole story kind of fell into place. It almost seemed like it did, because and again, I don't want this to like come across as like, oh, just it's just naturally came to me. No, but it was definitely one of those stories, because sometimes it's like this where it's just like an idea just clicks, and it's like you can see the whole thing almost instantly, and it's just a matter of like putting it down, that rather than like trying to figure it out. And there were still some components where it was like, okay, I need to tweak this a little bit, or adjust that. But as far as like the relationship between Cherry and Gareth, like to me that seemed like a no-brainer from a story perspective. It was like, of course this guy is going to insist that this character is just code, and therefore not human. And no matter how lifelike she appears, no matter how human she seems, or even believes herself to be, he won't be able to see that, because all he can see is his objective, his mission, his purpose, which was determined by his trauma. But the unfortunate reality to that, and to I think a lot of people's experience with their parents, is that oftentimes not communicating, and not being open about your trauma will inevitably pass that trauma on to to the next generation. And so by trying to deal with his trauma in a way that's productive, it still wasn't healthy, and it inadvertently passed trauma on to his creation, which again, like to me, that's just, I mean, that's Frankenstein. Like I didn't like I didn't think that up. That's been around in stories for centuries. But I don't know. I just wanted to explore that, and I didn't want to necessarily have a definitive answer either. I think one of the reasons why people are talking about the film is because it doesn't answer all the questions. It leaves things somewhat open, or somewhat,
I said the same thing.
Yeah, they're people's own experiences and their own traumas are going to inform how they perceive the story and the ending. And I don't know, what do you think the record scratch represents? Like that's
Yeah.
that's
That's so funny, because we were just talking about that, but that was one of the big things I just want to finish off with, like with the realism, man. That's what Logan was telling me to say. It's just there's such a realistic feel that you brought to it. You know what I mean? The film really knew what it was, and it was very meta, and it really solved those current world. Like you said, it's crazy how you never intended it for 2023. Post COVID, but it worked perfectly, man. And there's a lot of key components that worked out perfectly. So yeah, I think it's just awesome. I think it's awesome.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
and the perspective thing, dude, that's exactly what I was telling Braden. I was like, this leaves everything up to perspective, man. Everybody's gonna have such different thoughts on it. You know what I mean? Who's in the right, who's in the wrong? It's because this becomes like a human rights thing in a way of, do you give rights to this AI? Even though those emotions aren't real, they're still, experiencing dopamine and all these other brain chemicals. And it's so interesting, bro. I thought you absolutely killed that. And like you said, it was perfectly timed, because you go back to the 80s, AI was Terminator, you know what I mean? But now it's becoming this realistic human thing. And I think this is going to be a very relevant movie for many years. I think people are going to, and I think this movie, dude, it's obviously blasting off right now, but
I think you started something for sure. I think you definitely started something for sure. Definitely, there's going to be a lot of films that are going to try and replicate the idea, something like this.
Well, I remember too. It's like it feels like it's something that everybody's been like itching to talk about, because I remember we wrapped production on Act 3. So keep in mind that was like a full year and like a year and a half basically of working on this film, and we wrapped production on Act 3, and the trailer for Megan comes out, And I remember thinking, oh no, like it's an AI robot girl and she's blonde and she dances. Oh, no. But then like obviously that film's a totally different type of movie, and I've seen it. Like I think it's great. It's a popcorn movie. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And it's not saying the same thing that we're saying, but obviously like listen, I think that regardless of what AI is in the next 10 years, maybe the next 10 months, who knows, at this rate. But, you know, regardless of whether it's anything like Cherry or not, I think what the film does say that I think could still be relevant for many years is that AI is going to be a reflection of the best and worst parts of the people that make it, right? So it's not Frankenstein's monster, it's not the Terminator or HAL 9000. It's not necessarily going to turn evil or try to take over. I think what it will do though is accentuate the flaws and the intentions of the people who build it. So if it's built for you know, opportunistic, nefarious, dare I say, capitalistic reasons, that's what it's going to do.
Right.
It's built for altruism and you know, for moral good reasons, that's probably better. But at the same time, it's going to reciprocate the flaws. In that way, AI is like a child. AI will be like children. It's going to be exactly what it's raised to be. Reflect those parts of us back at us. So I think we should be approaching AI with thoughtfulness, compassion, and integrity. But tell that to Google and Amazon. We'll see.
Yeah. No, and then one last thing too. When it comes to the end of the movie, and you know, Cherry's dancing, the music stops and it keeps saying a word over and over. I don't
that
know if
record
it's
play that you were talking about.
What word was it, Bray? You said you heard
again. I think right.
I don't know.
I was trying to listen to it.
I don't know. I just don't know if it has like a deeper meaning. What's going on with it?
I remember. Yeah, it's in the song. It's the song is I never killed a thing, a thing. I think it's actually a thing.
A
So
thing.
it sounds like again, but it's a thing.
Thing.
Okay.
Which yeah, I mean, I won't speak on why I put the record scratch in there because I think it undermines all of the incredible theories and ideas and interpretations out there.
Sure.
But I am curious to hear like what you guys think. What you guys think is. I'll tell you what. You know what? Let's hear from both of you. I want to hear both of your theories on the record scratch, and then I'll tell you what happens immediately after that moment in my sort of like head canon of the story.
Logan, you go first on this one, man.
Well, so here's the thing. I didn't know what it was saying. So now that's like new information being thrown at me. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to think of for a while. One thing that was very intriguing was the fact that she took off the wires behind her. And now I understand that's her now being free, right? That's some symbolic, some symbolism there. She's dancing and stuff. A thing though, is it because that's the depiction of what people are like thinking of her as, just a thing, while she sees herself more than just a thing? I don't know. There's a lot going on there. I got to really sit on that and think about it. But one thing that really stood out to me, I thought it was a beautiful way to end it when her taking off the wires and being free. But I'm gonna have to sit on the music thing for a little bit now that I know what it was.
Yeah, it's totally my bad. Yeah, I think very similarly, like the record scratch, the record stops. I think it's almost symbolic in a way of like, and it's crazy because you're the guy who read it. It's symbolic in the way, it's not like turning over a new leaf, but it's stopping this initiative, I guess, this idea that's already in place about what Cherry is and what she can be, and promoting the idea of she is more than that, and she will be more than that, and she's going to show you. And the whole a thing, I agree with Logan. She's not just a thing, you know what I mean? And that's what I feel like she was trying to promote, and especially with pulling off and detaching from Gareth at the end with that chord. I feel like that was pretty symbolic. Kind of doing her own thing, you know, she's no longer under human control. She is her own entity. So something along those lines, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
That's great. That's great. I'll tell you the deleted ending, the alternate ending.
Okay.
You know, she's dancing, and then the record scratches, and she stops, and she turns around. She looks over at the record player, and Megan's standing there, and she's like scratching the record, and she's like, "Hey, it's time for us to do battle." And then it like hard smash cuts, and it's like Megan versus Cherry, and coming to theaters summer 2027.
I'd pay for that. I'd pay for it. Not gonna lie, man. Jason Blum, if you're watching, man, let's make it happen.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hit me up, Blumhouse.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's dude. I'm so excited to see more theories and stuff on this. More and more people are reviewing it every single day. I was watching some. Chris Stuckman did it, which is insane, unreal. I mean, he's the movie or YouTube movie reviewer.
That blew my mind. I'll say it like just real quick that I've been following like Chris for like, I mean, what, 9 years, whenever he like started making movie reviews. So to like see like the Artifice Girl review pop up, and of course like one of the things I love about his videos is that he's always got those thumbnails where he's giving like a reaction, right? And his face was like this, like he was covering his mouth, and I was like, oh no, did he hate it? Is he like confused? But his review is just one of the best reviews.
It was amazing.
Proud about the film because he doesn't spoil anything. Like a lot of these other reviews are like, here's the entire plot. Also, it was good. Like and Chris did a phenomenal job on that, and then he encouraged people to not go and torrent it, like which was like I mean that was so wonderful of him. And then the other thing that got me a few days ago was one of my favorite YouTube channels, CinemaSins, tweeted about the film and that they were like, this is a great film, go watch it or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, my sins have been forgiven. I'm cleansed. I love those guys. I think those are like it's just been really crazy to like, you grow up thinking like, oh, maybe one day I'll make a movie that Chris Stuckman reviews or like gets or whatever. So to finally like have this kind of stuff happening is surreal. And I mean, I do feel like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it's like I just kind of I don't know how this happened to me, but I'm grateful, and it's like true.
Love that, man. Love that.
No, I just got one last question, and I'm sure you probably get asked it a lot, but working with the legend Lance, how you guys play the same character, so it was actually really amazing to see the growth, and I think he did amazing job of capturing that part, and that's where I give the kudos to you, man. You know what I mean? You equally matched that performance. You know what I mean? Fantastic job. But what was it like getting him for the project? Was he the person in mind at first, or how did that come about?
He was always at the top of our list, but we never thought that we'd actually be able to get him. That was kind of a thing that we sort of said, well, when we get producers and when we get funding, like maybe we'll be able to like get someone of that caliber. And he, for obvious reasons, like he was Bishop, like that was it was just a perfect match in our minds with not just the meta textual stuff, but also he's just a terrific actor that I think gets underutilized in a lot of his recent projects. And so we were lucky enough to get to work with people, Paper Street Pictures, who got the script in front of him. And even though like a lot of managers and agents who had looked at the script that we had sort of talked to for different actors had sort of said, no, it's too small. We were able to get the script in front of Lance. And that I think made all the difference because he read it and then immediately called me, and we had like a 3-hour conversation just talking about the themes and the character of Gareth and how Lance was connecting those ideas and themes to like his own personal experiences. And he was just so excited about it, and hadn't even seen the first 2 acts that we already had like finished and cut together. He just read the script and was absolutely like mesmerized by it. And so as a writer director, like that's a dream come true. Obviously, like it's like, oh my god, I get to talk to this legend,
Bishop, bro. It's crazy.
Bishop.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many actors out there that could have just like shown up and like done the lines, grabbed their paycheck, and left. But Lance cared so much. He put in so much time beforehand, doing table work and rehearsals with Tatum. And even after, like every time we wrapped on set, and it was always like an exhausting day, and you'd think that after like 7 hours of acting your heart out, you'd be tired. But after we wrap production every day, Lance would go, "Where are we going?" And it would be like, "Oh, okay. I guess we'll go to Outback Steakhouse and talk about childhood trauma." Okay. With Lance.
Yeah.
So like every minute with Lance was just it was so it was exhilarating and energizing, and his chemistry with Tatum was like immediate and electric. And I will always cherish like the sort of friendship that we've made, because he still calls, and when the film released, like we had calls several days, and he would just I just really love the guy. It's been amazing getting to be like a small part of his journey, which has been such an incredible one.
Mm-hmm.
Love that, man.
Awesome, man.
And now for you and your future, I've read somewhere that you already have a few scripts and you're looking to do some big stuff, man. I'm so excited for you. How's that going? Is it just kind of a day by day thing? What are you looking at? I'm personally, dude, so excited. Like I'm going to be first in line to see what other projects you got, dude, because I think man. You have an incredible mind. You're going to do some big things.
Well, I appreciate that. I have too many projects, I think. And now with the strike and all of our pens are down, but I'm still very excited, looking forward to what's next. I think anybody that enjoyed the best parts of Artifice Girl are going to be really excited about the next few projects. I think I want to maintain and to strengthen the things that Artifice Girl does well, and then facilitate that and give it even more reach with things that Artifice Girl didn't have, like more than one location and 3 actors and definitely a kind of a larger scope. We're going to be doing. It's going to be ambitious is the next one, but I'm really excited because I think it has the potential to be even more incredible than Artifice Girl ever could, no matter how much money was thrown at, could have been thrown at it. This is going to be an exciting few years. So yeah, keep on the lookout. And I don't know, I would say follow me on the gram, but I'm really bad at posting stuff there. So instead, just I don't know.
I already followed you on Instagram.
No,
I'm already on there, man. We'll definitely keep in touch, bro. I'm really excited to see what you got coming.
Yeah, man, I'm already thinking about it. We're doing a review at the end of the year for all of our like favorite movies, dude. This is gonna land pretty high up on the list, man, against all the blockbusters we've seen. So
yeah, because this week we're gonna do the Artifice Girl review with the episode, so it's gonna be like a whole Artifice girl little episode. So yeah,
well, I appreciate that, guys. That really means a lot. Can I ask what have been some of your favorite movies this year? Because I haven't had a chance to watch too many with all the work.
Ooh,
I mean, recommendations. What should I go and see?
The best are still coming. I mean, we have Wes Anderson. You know what I mean? Yes. We have Oppenheimer. So there's some good ones that are still on the horizon.
Barbie's coming.
Barbie.
He was so excited for Barbie.
I can't believe I am like just as, if not more excited about Greta Gerwig's Barbie than I am about Oppenheimer.
Well, it comes out the same day.
It's the same day. Oh,
same day.
I gotta pick which one to see first. Oh,
it's gonna be a big battle, man. That box office weekend is gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
For this year specifically, Cocaine Bear,
Cocaine Bear.
No, I don't know. There's a few. Sisu is a cool. really good one. I don't know if you've
heard great things about Sisu. I haven't seen it yet.
It's crazy because it underperformed in the box office, but it's like John Wick in 1942.
Dude, it's
gonna have a cult following, from what I understand. Have you guys seen Blackberry yet? Blackberry's incredible.
Haven't seen Blackberry.
No,
because there's been a lot of movies. There's like the Tetris movie and the Air movie, but the one that kind of flew under the radar, but I think is phenomenal, is BlackBerry,
Yeah.
which
I
is
have to see that.
It's fantastic. So check that one out. But yeah, I'm excited. There's some really great films coming out soon, and yeah, even more in the horizon. Hopefully, fingers crossed that the strike doesn't last too long.
Too long. Yeah.
Yep. They definitely get a deal going. Yeah, no, we're definitely going to see some big projects with your name under it. I'm gonna tell you right now. But
Heck yeah, man.
but no, we do really appreciate it, Braden. Do you have any last questions? Or are you good?
No, yeah, man. We already did the put your name wherever for where to find you. So
Oh yeah. If you got your your Instagram username or whatever it is, man, let the world know.
I'll tell you, I'm not very good at the gram or the Twitter or any of that, but if you liked Artifice Girl and you want to see some of our like previous work, because we've made a lot of short films, you can watch all of them for free on YouTube. So if you look up Last Resort Ideas on YouTube, you'll be able to watch our stuff. And I think there's some stuff on there that people will really dig. We even made several years ago, we made a Batgirl short film, like a fan film.
Oh wow.
That's funny enough that's like the most like viewed video on our channel. Like all the
I mean,
that,
we never got the movie. You know what I mean? They decided to cancel the movie,
exactly.
So that's all we have.
But if you want to see something, but again, it's like from the people who made the Artifice Girl, like our version of that girl. So it's like all dialogue in one location. But there might be stuff on there that you guys enjoy. So go check those out. We're proud of those.
All right. Well, Franklin, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for joining, and you have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you guys so much. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming on. It was a pleasure having you, dude.
Appreciate it.
It's good to talk to you again.
Yeah.